Send it back.
Can't use it anymore. My hands are tainted.
Yeah.
I put stickers on mine.
Everybody's talking about their notebooks.
Mine's just yellow. It's ugly. I hate yellow. It's like the worst
You're
color.
gonna have to like decorate that. You're gonna buy like
put crayon
stickers
on
and
mine.
stuff.
I don't plan on having it long enough to decorate
But
it.
whenever I did it, my book was upside down.
I hate yellow. Yellow's like the worst
That's a
color,
problem.
though. It's like the ugliest color.
It's upside down, and it's on the back side.
All right, welcome back to the show. Oh, we got a guest this week. My daughter Madison decided to set in with us for Hocus Pocus 1 and 2. Oh boy, we have so much to cover on these two movies that I'm going to go ahead and dive right into our news and things of that sort and I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible.
Godspeed.
Do you have the bullet points?
Do you? Because I gave them to you.
I do, but I always forget what they are.
Well, it's intro, news,
Yeah, intro, news,
movie,
Shit, where are here they are.
reviews.
Oh, intro, news. What have you been watching?
Oh, what have you
movie
been-
time,
I knew I
ratings,
was
trivia
missing
next
one.
week. Okay, so, god damn it, now I lost my page.
You should hang that up somewhere.
I should.
Honestly,
I should just go get that.
the one that I
Whiteboard
had to
we had.
write
Yeah,
down.
it's still hanging in the
Yeah,
basement.
I bet it is.
All right, so first off, we're gonna get right into the news. I don't want to waste any time dilly daddling. Dilly daddling. All right, so oh boy, there's quite a bit to cover actually this week for news.
Maybe you should limit it.
I did
Just pick
actually.
the
There was a
top
lot
three.
to cover, but I only did just a few major
Oh,
things
okay.
that I thought was important. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so first off, Keanu Reeves. I don't know if you guys know about his comic book called Berserker.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what I'm
Yeah.
talking
I've
about?
heard about it.
So apparently he wants to. They want to make a movie adaptation of it, and he wants to direct it.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I think
I've
it's a
heard they wanted
fantastic
it.
idea,
I've
and I
heard-
think that he should bring in the same people, the stunt coordinators and stuff, and the martial art people from the John Wick series,
Yeah.
because that would be baller.
I thought I heard when they first came out, the comic book, he wanted to do a movie of it. He wanted to do a movie of it when it first came out.
Probably, yeah. Well, he's an actor, of course he'd want to make a movie out of it.
Only I think when I first heard about it, they were wanting to do it was going to be like an animated thing.
Right. Okay, so this is what it says. It says Keanu Reeves may direct movie adaptation of his own comic book, Berserker. Hollywood legend Keanu Reeves is thinking about directing Netflix's... Oh, it's a Netflix flick, apparently. He's going to do it for Netflix, which... Good
Stop.
and bad. Yeah. Like,
Some
do a
turn
wide
out
release,
great.
man. Yeah, but... I don't know.
But
Anyway.
see, that's the future. I feel like because a lot of
It is, but...
honestly, Hollywood sucks.
But
And
I want
they
the
all know
movie...
it.
Some people need that movie-going experience for certain movies, you know?
Sure, people, but
I
they-
have friends that love going to the movies, and I don't
Right.
see a
I think
Big
even
deal,
actors
yeah.
though know that Hollywood's going downhill.
It
you
is,
can't get
it is,
you can't
yeah.
get good stuff made, so they go elsewhere.
Right. Okay, so he's thinking about directing the Netflix film adaptation of Berserker, a comic book about an immortal warrior fighting through the ages. Collider's own... I guess. I've
I
never
didn't know
read
he
the
was
comic.
immortal in it.
Collider's own Steven Weintraub, okay, sat down with Berserker writers
wild name.
and creators Reeves and Matt Kint, as well as the artist Ron Garney, to discuss the franchise's future. During the interview, Reeves confessed that he hadn't read Matson Tomlin's script yet, but he is considering directing the adaptation of his best-selling comic himself. Which would be cool. I'm alright with that. I love Keanu Reeves, dude. He does no wrong in my opinion, so...
You got better at reading.
I did very good that. Usually I make Karen do it. I'm like, here,
He
do
does.
this.
He makes me read when it's long.
Okay, so also in a little bit of movie news here, I don't know if you guys saw that trailer yet with David Harbour.
Yes,
Violent Night.
Yes,
I think that movie
cannot
looks awesome.
wait. It looks
'Cause
awesome.
It looks awesome, dude.
Well,
So
David Harbour's amazing.
I know
so
he's
it doesn't
awesome,
matter.
and he's got that. He's very quippy, and I like him.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he's that trailer dropped
the
today.
They're
guy-
all on my naughty list.
Yeah, you're all on my naughty list.
Is that the guy from Stranger
Yeah.
Things?
Yeah.
When he played Hellboy.
Yeah,
yeah. He's playing.
yeah. He's
Santa
got
Claus in this.
Santa Claus
I've
movie coming
seen
out.
a little bit thing of it.
Oh, it
but-
looks so good.
Yeah,
It
Harper,
looks so
yeah.
good.
Hopper.
Hopper,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so it says David Harbour.
No, his last name is Harbor.
Harbour
He
is
said
his name.
Harper.
I did.
Oh,
say
you did?
Harbour.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, I missed it.
David Harbour is Santa Claus, and he's out for blood for the first violent night trailer. The holiday season is rapidly approaching, which means, goddamn, it's time to start pulling out those pumpkins, turkeys, and Christmas lights. As you compile those movie watch lists, Universal Pictures is bringing another Christmas flick to add to the list. But while U.S. in the holiday cheer, Violent Night brings the holiday fear. In just a couple of months, the David Harbour-led movie will bring audiences a different kind of Christmas movie, and the official trailer has arrived. So, if you haven't seen the trailer, the movie looks fucking baller. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it does.
So, go check out the trailer, and if you're a David Harbour or Stranger Things fan, whatever. It's also got
John
Leguizamo in it. So go check out the trailer. That's all I'm going to say about it. Check it out. Because I want to keep moving along. Also, because we're getting into the colder months, I told you that I would keep you updated on movies coming out. There aren't any new movies out other than Hocus Pocus that released within the last week, but there are some movies to look forward to coming up this week.
Like Halloween Ends.
Not this week. That doesn't come out this week.
I mean, like, just in general.
Well, I'm talking about for the next week. First off, on Netflix, we got Luckiest Girl Alive. It has... well, hold on. Let me tell you here. Luckiest Girl Alive comes out October 7th on Netflix. I believe it is an R-rated flick. Says right here, I'll give you a thing here. Based on the novel of the same name, The Luckiest Girl Alive sees Mila Kunis stepping back into a leading role as the successful writer of a soon-to-be-married Annie Finelli. Yeah. Everything seems to be going perfectly in her life until a figure from her past comes back into the picture and threatens to upend all that she has worked to build for her future. In addition to also starring actors Finn Wittrock and Scoot McNairy. Wow, that's a weird fucking name.
McNairy.
It is being helmed by veteran director Mike Barker, who recently worked on the hit series The Sandman, which is a very good show. If you haven't seen it, I would check that out. While this isn't likely to be as time bending as that show, it is the one on this list for whatever. Check it out if you want. I don't give a fuck. I don't feel like reading anymore. All right. Next up, we have. And I'm really looking forward to this one. Hellraiser comes out in 2 days, October 7th. It's got an R rating, obviously. It's very, very...
I'm looking forward to that one, too.
Yeah. The fuck is this? But, so, I don't know...
Real quick, did you hear about that lady talking about Hocus Pocus 2? Saying, like, don't watch it. She was telling everybody don't watch it. Because
oh, yeah. Because because...
the witches will send things through your TV.
Send things through your TV. I saw that. That shit's fucking great.
My mom told me about it. I thought she was kidding.
Yeah, I saw the video.
My mom was telling me about it. I was like, you're fucking with me. She's like, no, I'm serious.
Some people are like that.
I looked it up. I'm like, oh my god, she was not messing with me.
Just crazy or?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a quick run over here for Hellraiser. Hellraiser is one of the most highly anticipated releases this horror season, and Hellraiser, which is a reimagining of the story, first introduced in the Clive Barker 1987 classic, now helmed by director David Bruckner, which he's done a lot of good shit like The Night House, whose previous works, right here, underrated, The Night House, is also worth checking out.
I actually didn't like The Night House.
You didn't like it? I liked it.
I didn't like it.
But mostly what I'm excited for is Jamie Clayton as Pinhead.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that because people are like, oh, they're gender swapping her. Well, in the books,
she's androgynous.
Yeah, in the books, she didn't have. Pinhead wasn't a gender
sex,
anyway.
Okay?
Yeah.
It was Hellraiser was androgynous.
So
I know. I said something about it, and you told me it was androgynous.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Well,
in the original story, they
because
don't.
Actually,
they're
in the
demons.
Movie, from what I've seen, it looks like a woman, but her voice is a man.
Right.
It's just it's everything.
Yeah. So I think that this movie is going to be awesome. I think it's already getting decent reviews. I haven't looked at any reviews because I want to go in completely blind to this movie. All right, and let's see here. We have another movie coming out called Significant. I'm going to run right through the rest of these. Another movie coming out called Significant Other comes out on October 7th on Paramount Plus. These are all horror movies, by the way. And then another one called Dead Stream, which I think is getting a lot of good reviews also. This comes out October 6th on Shudder. And if you don't have Shudder, get Shudder, man. It's cheap and it's totally worth it.
It's also got a lot of really good B movies.
It does. It does have a lot of very good B movies.
If you haven't checked out Demon Wind on Joe Bob Briggs's Last Drive-In,
that sounds like a fart.
It might as well be. It's the best movie I've watched on there yet.
It's like a fart. Like
it has Lou Diamond Phillips in it, but he's not credited. He didn't want to be credited. He's just a zombie in the movie. It's amazing. It's just so amazing.
Okay, so we're gonna jump right into. That's pretty much all I have for news this week. Let's jump into what has everybody been watching. Let's start with Matt. Matt, what you been watching?
Well, just the shows I usually watch. I did watch a movie called 10.0 Earthquake. It was really bad. Like it wasn't it had an okay story, but just like the graphics that they used, like the earthquakes weren't even that bad. Like the ground was cracking open, but like the things that they were using for the ground cracking open was so bad, and it wasn't as big. Like they were making it sound like it was going to be these horrible earthquakes in it, and it was nothing really. It
like
was
low budget.
Yeah, low budget, and it looked like they tried to, but they used the wrong CGI. It looked like they tried to do a good job, but they used really bad CGI.
Did you ever see Velocipaster?
No, but I've heard about it. I've heard of it.
There's literally a scene in there where his parents come out of a car and they're waving, and this is like their death scene, and they're waving at him, and he's waving back, and then you hear like an explosion, and it cuts back to his parents, and it literally just says in writing, okay, like literally just in writing, exploding car. It doesn't even have
we don't have the budget for that. Let's just make this as stupid as possible.
I gotta see Velocipaster now.
It is amazing.
I kept seeing it and I was like, Velocipaster. I was like, I don't know if I want to watch that. And then there's also this other one I kept telling my mom about, like horror movies that were weird named. One was Killer Sofa.
I've seen it.
A sofa
I've seen it.
Fell in love with a woman.
I've seen it.
Oh my god!
And then there was also one about an evil moose.
I haven't seen that.
What about the one about the pants? What was it called? Slacks?
Oh, we almost watched that last night.
I think it was called Slacks.
We didn't watch it, but
I heard it. Well, yeah, I think it was like it wasn't like a big budget movie, but like it wasn't like a low budget movie really either. Like
kind of like Milo or something like that.
Right?
Like, those were good. Yeah.
Like that was a movie I watched way back when me and Ashley were
kind of like Rubber.
It was, it was called Shaft, and it was about a killer elevator.
Oh man,
I haven't seen that one.
Okay,
I think it's called The Shaft. You get the chance. Yeah, it's not a porn. It's
definitely sounds like one.
Well, because I remember at Amber's, I was like The Shaft. Ashley's, I was like The Shaft. I think your parents are getting weird. And she was like, no, they told me it's about a killer, it's a slasher, it was a horror movie. And I was like, well, we gotta watch it.
And you did? And you made it through the whole thing?
Yeah, we were laughing our butts off.
I probably would have been too.
A building that got struck by lightning and the elevator went evil. There's one thing where a guy skates into the elevator and then the elevator goes up to the top floor and throws him out. Like he goes
just
through the window.
Launches him
and
out.
People are in the building too. Like
so nobody else uses this elevator.
Yeah, like people just keep using it.
It was probably the budget for the movie. Hey, we got to clear this building out. Yeah, dude. No. There's a Sears in there, so we're kind of like we're actually not even supposed to be here filming. So,
hey, elevator 3 keeps acting. Yeah. Don't shut it down, man. That's our favorite one.
Yeah. It was an office building. So yeah, but it was like people aren't even like trying to like. Because this guy goes, and I guess you could try to play it off, besides the fact that he's going way faster than any human should.
Dude, just launches like a fucking torpedo out the fucking elevator.
Did you see Bill?
Damn, Bill was in a hurry. I guess he was late. Maybe he had to take a shit. I don't know.
Maybe he was late coming back from lunch.
I don't know the way he flew out that window. He definitely shit his pants now.
Yeah, you get the chance to watch it.
Yeah.
Like it's not even so much that it's low budget. From like what I remember, it looked like it had a decent budget, but the story was just like way out there.
Yes, because lightning does that.
But sometimes those are the gems. You know what I mean? Like you're like, dude, check out this movie. All right, Karen, what have you been watching?
A lot, because I've been on vacation. So we watched American Horror Stories Season 2.
Oh, that was like the best one. Was it?
Oh
No.
No, season one.
Season 1 was amazing.
Yeah,
there was only
was
2
That was
episodes
House.
in this
Season
one I
2
liked.
is Coven?
2 is
No,
that's 3.
Three was
stories.
Oh, stories. Oh,
The
never
short, the anthology series.
I was talking about this.
Oh, okay.
There was one called Aura, which is about like a ring type doorbell that can see ghosts. That one was pretty good. And then there was another episode called Drive. It was about like a chick that goes clubbing.
Say
and-
dry.
Drive.
Oh, Drive.
And that one was the other good one. The rest of them, I didn't care for.
So was the whole thing like an Incubus music video?
No, it was like
The song Drive from Incubus?
No, I was thinking. Oh, and well, episode 8 called Lake. Jeremiah hated that episode, but I kind of liked it. Kind of reminded me of The Fog.
Oh, okay.
So it was pretty good. I mean, kind of.
I can only imagine that like American Horror Stories could be hit and miss. Because their seasons are hit and miss.
The first season was great.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Was it?
The anthology series was
Did
really
they just
good.
run out of ideas?
I don't know.
I
mean,
really I liked season 1 and season 4.
the
Freak Show.
Yeah.
The Freak Show. Because I've always
Freak
liked
Show was
Freak
really
Show
good.
stuff.
Murder House is my favorite.
My
Oh,
sister's
yeah.
favorite season was Hotel, but I couldn't get into that season.
I liked the first
I
season
watched
and the
it, but
second season. That was it.
I watched up to the last season where it started getting real political.
Oh, yeah.
Cult, I think it was. And
Yeah.
I was like, I got like 4 or 5 episodes and I was like, I'm not digging this. So I
Yeah.
just stopped.
They came out with a new one.
Oh,
It was.
I watched the one that was like kind of 80s based.
Oh, 84, I think it was
I
called.
like
Yeah.
that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that one too. But I like 80s anything.
No, I don't know.
I liked Roanoke. I did.
Roanoke
But I like
was,
I like those old shit, like they were real popular in the 90s where they were like reenactment shows.
Yeah.
I really liked those. So a lot of people hated Roanoke, but I liked Roanoke because of that. It was like one of those reenactment shows.
It was one of those.
I don't know. I wasn't there
What's a.
What?
at Roanoke. Because nobody's there now.
Yeah.
And everybody disappeared.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good
Bill
joke.
Cosby
Fuck you
died.
guys.
The season Roanoke is.
No,
one of
it's
those
like a
ones I was
reenactment
it's
because they're
good,
talking
but
about it's like a
bad.
haunted house
Yeah,
reenactment.
right.
Fuck off. And then Creep and Creep 2. If you guys have not seen those movies, you
haven't
should
seen them. I
watch them.
passed them
They're
up.
very good.
I heard stuff.
Very good.
I heard good stuff about Creep, but I never thought.
Oh, is that the found footage movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
And I don't care for found footage movies.
Neither
really
do I.
don't.
That's the only reason why I haven't watched
But
it.
I'm telling you, they're
Is it like a tension builder?
it's more like it keeps you guessing. Like you keep going.
What the fuck?
I mean, you know something's wrong with the guy, but you're just not sure what's gonna happen. You're not sure where he's going.
Right. Okay.
And
I might have to check that out eventually
and
because
it's
I've
that-
thought
it's-
about watching them.
And you think in the second one you're like, oh yeah, you know what's gonna happen because you saw the first one, but in the second one you're still like,
What's he
Is
doing?
he? Is he though?
is he gonna go right or left?
Yeah.
I
right.
mean, it's very good. Creep 1 and 2, watch them. Zombieland Double Tap, which I've never seen.
I own Zombie.
It was all right. It was.
I've
It wasn't as good as the first, but it was. Good.
I thought it was every bit as good as the first.
That's the thing. That's what I heard a lot of people say though. Was that like they're like, I don't know, if you like the first one, you'll like the second one.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, okay.
Well, and I love the fact that, like, she said if she ever found out who killed Bill Murray, she was gonna kill them. And I kept waiting for her to find out. That's the only gripe I had about the movie. I was like, she needs to find out. Like, that would be hilarious to me if it was like the last part of the movie, and then she found out who killed Bill
Jesse
Murray.
Eisenberg's character.
Yeah, and then she's like, I can't kill
Columbus,
you now.
yeah.
Like, I can't kill you now.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But
you really put me in a bind here.
Yeah, like, it would just be hilarious to me if she found that out, and then she's like, son of a bitch.
That should have been like a deleted scene. Or
well,
like
they did have an
scene.
end credit scene where Bill Murray shows up.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
That was
yeah.
pretty good. But anyway.
He's like signing autographs and shit.
Yeah.
And the zombie apocalypse breaks out.
And then last night we watched Fright Night, the remake, which I've always been against watching, but
it's good.
But yes,
it's good.
Yes. Well, the only reason I watched it was because
it's one of the better remakes.
Well, yeah, we were flipping through, and I was initially like, "Fuck that! I'm not watching that remake." Right? And we
I actually have that remake.
We were flipping through, and I'm like, oh, Anton Yelkin's in that? Yeah. No, I'm watching it. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. I'll watch anything with that kid in it. Yeah. So. We watched it, and I really liked it.
It has a very stacked cast,
I think
really.
the only reason I watched
Imogen Poots was in it. Like, I mean, I really liked it.
Yeah. I think the only reason I watched it because it had David Tennant in it.
Yeah.
I loved how he killed him at the end.
Mm-hmm.
That was really imaginative to me. He lights himself on fucking fire, and then grabs him, and waits until the opportune time to fucking drive that stake.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I've never seen anything.
It was
like
a pretty
that before.
baller movie, honest. I really liked that movie. Like it's
Anton Yelkin died so far. I mean, like
in such a stupid way.
Yes, and I'm telling you, if he was still alive, he'd be like,
he definitely
far above.
He would have definitely been an A-list actor.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, I mean, he was before he died, but he'd be like Keanu Reeves level badass at this point.
Yeah, I miss, like, I always liked it. I think the last movie he did was, he played this guy who could, like, see ghosts and shit.
I know what you're talking about, Odd Thomas.
Yeah, Odd Thomas. And
I like that movie.
That movie was, like, one of the movies where, like, you didn't know where the movie was going because it started out as, like, this kind of, like, quirky kind of, but it got really fucking serious halfway through. You're like, holy shit.
You knew what you were getting into, and then by the end you're like,
like, it got really fucking sad. You're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss him, but I think I've watched pretty much anything. The Green Room, you seen that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was another one with him and
Imogen Poots.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then like seeing Patrick Stewart play that kind of. I was like, hold on, he's a fucking Nazi.
Yes, and like brutal.
Yeah, he was like brutal. Hardcore. I was like
that scene where he's got his arm out.
Yeah, and they're cutting the fuck out of his arm.
Oh god, that I felt that.
Yeah, that was
pretty sure my kids felt that. They weren't even watching it.
Hey, take note. Get the fuck out of the bathroom, or this is gonna happen. I'm taking a shit. Leave me alone. Like keep your fucking you open that door. That's what's gonna happen to your arm.
Oh man, that was fucking rough. It's probably one of the roughest things I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah, it was pretty hardcore.
Oh man. Anyway, I'll watch anything with him in it. So when we were flipping through, I'm like, nope, I'm watching it. But yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Madison, what have you been watching? You weren't prepared for this, buddy.
No.
Like, hold on now. You didn't tell me what the bullet points were.
Pop quiz.
That new episode of My Hero came out on Saturday, so I watched that.
My Hero Academia.
Halfway through, and then I forgot to watch the rest.
Sounds like a good episode there. Yeah, she forgot about
the
it.
dub isn't out yet, so it was really hard to keep my attention because they weren't actually talking in English.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay, so yeah, I can't watch anime without it being dubbed. Like I can't read all the shit.
But I did get.
I mean, I can read, but I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to read all that.
Oh, that's gonna suck for you this week.
What?
If you don't want to read.
God damn it! Are you picking a foreign film or something?
Yeah, me. I'm caught between two of them.
Oh, just to let you know, there will be a chance. There's a movie that I would like to watch again, and there's one. It's a very good movie, but it's not in English. You have to read the movie. So I will be picking that one out too. If I remember.
Whatever, you guys. Making shit difficult.
It's not going to be for
but
Halloween.
I promise you, it's worth it.
Yeah, we'll see.
I promise.
Yeah.
I've also I rewatched the Chucky show.
Yeah.
Just because I forgot what happened, and there's supposed to be a new season coming out sometime this year, I believe it is.
This month, actually.
This month, yeah. And I'm ready for it. I rewatched the whole show, and let me tell you, after you watch it the second time, it's really cringy, actually.
It is very. There's some parts of the show you're like.
I think that's kind of par for the course, though, because the movies were that way.
Well, that's essentially what's happened with Chucky at this point. They've pretty much turned him into this like.
The first movie was like kind of terrifying, you know.
The first movie was definitely the best.
Yeah, and then like as it progresses, it gets that cringy factor, and at this point, that's what everybody wants.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
I love his laugh.
That's why certain series should just die off at a certain point, and you know what I mean, before if they don't want it to become that.
Yeah,
because that's what they did with Jason. I don't really like it when they go past a trilogy. I don't either, honestly. That's why I'm like, with the Scream movies and everything, I'm like, would you just stop?
I love the Scream movies. I also watched those this week again.
Oh my god, you watch a lot of shit.
I don't watch a lot of stuff. Just the Scream movies. I've watched it so many times I can't even count.
She does. She loves the first Scream movie.
It's really
that
good.
A girl.
Especially the end of it, Billy and
that's the best part.
We talked about that in another podcast.
That's the best part. Like,
my mom and dad are gonna be so mad at me.
I remember for a long time I had a Scream 2 shirt. I bought it like Neil's NASCAR. And it was like the one I hadn't seen. And I didn't watch Scream 2 for a long time because I had the shirt. And I thought it was funny that I always wore the shirt and never saw the movie.
That is kind of funny.
My favorite line from the movie, it's like, oh, what's your motive?
What's your motive? Billy has one. What's your motive?
Yeah, he's like, what's your
peer
motive?
pressure.
And he's like, peer pressure. I'm far too sensitive.
Yes.
This is why he's like the most loved character from the whole franchise. He was only in one fucking movie.
Everybody wants him to come back.
Yeah, like
and
how?
But it's like, guys, he died.
He's dead?
Like he died. Like,
Yeah.
died.
Yeah. He was stabbed several times.
If he comes back at this point, I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah,
I'm just calling
I'm
bullshit
done.
on the
I'm
whole
done with
fucking
it.
thing.
They talk about Matthew Lillard.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I have been watching. We finished up not Bundy. Fuck. Dahmer on Netflix. That show was really good. I really liked it. Did you have you watched it yet?
No, but I saw a TikTok that was really funny.
Was it? Oh yeah.
It was like some dude was watching a scene from Dahmer, and I honestly haven't made up my mind. I'm gonna watch it, but probably after the hype dies down, just because I just can't bring myself to do it right now.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he's like shirtless in the scene and like greasy looking, like he almost looks like he's trying to model or something. Like the way that they were.
He is like extra muscular.
Yeah, maybe that they were trying.
And I'm like, there's no way Dahmer looked like that.
Right. But it was really funny because so like it was like he was shirtless and he's like standing there. And there's like this gay guy sitting on a couch, and it plays that Taylor Swift song, and there's like a fan blowing at the gay guy, and it says, "You're trying to make Jeffrey Dahmer hot for me, and that's not cool," or something like that. And then it cut to another gay guy, and he's like, "You know he killed people, right? Are you fucking kidding me?" And like, it was really funny.
I think that I saw a meme of a lady, and it was
and
like,
he was like, and he was gay.
Yeah.
And he killed people like you.
Yeah.
And you're getting hard over a guy who killed people like you.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw a meme on Facebook, and it was a picture of this lady, and it said, me trying to not find Evan Peters, or trying to look for reasons to like Evan, or something like that. Like, essentially what it is, she's saying, stop making Evan Peters play weird fucking people, because so I don't feel weird for thinking he's hot.
Exactly. It's like in the first American Horror Story season, he literally, like, raped the girl's mom, and then everybody looked right past it because they think he's hot.
I don't think it was that so much. I think it was more like all of the other things he did for Violet. Like he raped the mom because he had to. He thought it was going to get him what he needed to get out.
Yeah. And
then he was tricked.
Right.
But he legit loved Violet. Right. Tried to save her life. Failed, and then tried to make her as comfortable as possible
in that house.
So that's why everybody fell in love with him in that season.
Is this American Horror Story or a soap opera?
I don't know. I'm still waiting on you to get back to your shit.
Also, I didn't watch a lot this week, but I did watch a new movie that just came out on digital, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Yeah.
With it's got.
Did any of them hit the floor?
They all hit the floor. But it had
I did watch the trailer, by the way.
Pete Davidson in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. There's a reason not to watch it.
And I got a question about Pete Davidson. Does anybody else feel this way? I just have to ask.
He's not an attractive person.
He's not
No,
funny.
he's not. But here,
I do think he's funny, though.
let me ask this question though. Like, he looks like John Cryer, and everybody thought he was unattractive. We're literally one generation removed. How the fuck is this guy so hot to everybody?
I don't know, man, because this dude has pulled so much.
Have you seen John Cryer? Okay.
This dude has pulled so much Hollywood tail.
That's what I'm saying.
Like big name Hollywood tail.
Right.
Like Ariana Grande, fucking Kim Kardashian. You know what I mean?
I've seen things where it said.
I'm sorry.
That's not him. That's John
not
Cryer.
him. I don't like.
Honestly, John Cryer is more attractive
facial
than
hair.
Pete Davidson.
No offense. No offense. I don't like facial hair. I think it's gross, especially if it's prickly. I don't like facial hair.
But that's John Cryer.
Okay.
Does he not look like Pete Davidson?
I don't know.
She doesn't know who Pete Davidson
okay.
is.
Well, then I'll help you out.
He's
But
not.
I seen a thing that was telling, it was like what his girlfriend, like his ex-girlfriend's telling him why they were attracted to him. I'm going to tell you right now, Ariana Grande and Kim Kardashian are nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
He looks so.
Kind of, yeah.
We're one generation removed, and
I
all
don't
of a sudden
remember
this
who-
guy's hot, but everybody else thinks John Cryer was nasty looking.
I don't remember who Jim Cryer is.
I always thought John Cryer wasn't bad looking.
but
But then, like, this guy comes out of the fucking woodwork, and everybody thinks
I don't
he's hot,
think
and I
Pete
don't understand
Davidson's
it.
good looking. I think he's a. Oh, it's Ducky!
It's Ducky!
I don't think he looks like. No, that guy's
He's
a
better
lot
looking.
way looking.
But he
well,
looked...
A lot way looking.
My
He
point,
looks a lot
my
better.
point
Yeah.
is, this guy wasn't good looking, but Pete Davidson is.
I don't know, man. I've never really met anybody that said he was attractive, but maybe he's got a really good personality.
Maybe.
I know that his dad died in 9/11.
He did.
And he is a good stand-up comic. I think he was
Yes,
funny.
I did watch his
He is
stand-up
funny, and
was
he was on
hilarious.
SNL for a long
I don't
time.
think he's funny.
He
at
was
all.
he was
Did you watch
or
his stand-up?
he was Chad in SNL.
Yes, that's probably the
Yeah.
funniest.
So,
thing I've
but
seen on
anyway, so
SNL.
the movie was I wouldn't watch it again.
I don't
No.
think he's funny. I think he's annoying.
And his stand-up too? I thought his stand-up was funny.
I think his stand-up's good, but I think
like his
that it was an all right movie. It just wasn't my taste. Bodies.
Oh, that's a little disappointing. I did watch the trailer, and
It
I
is.
thought it.
I mean, don't get me
I thought the
wrong. I
trailer
think
was
you should
funny.
watch it.
Yeah.
I just myself, I watched it once. It was an all right movie. It's just not my thing. It was like Spring Breakers meets like, I don't know, fucking. It's like Spring Breakers meets I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I'm probably
It's like a
not-
slasher
Okay,
with
well,
a bunch
here's
of
what's
fucking.
gonna happen. Then I'm probably not gonna watch it because I didn't care. As a general rule, I don't really care for what you did last. Or I know what you did last summer.
But the
Not a
twist,
fan.
the twist in the movie is what makes the movie. So that's
Is
why I
it
would
a good twist? Like, I'll be surprised.
kinda maybe. I don't know, man. I'm not gonna. I don't know if you'll like it or not. I didn't. Me and Crystal looked at each other and we said, it was all right. I wouldn't watch it again. That's just how we felt about it. But it was just kind of one of those movies, though, where it was like a bunch of teenage people and partying and bullshit, and you're just like,
I got that from the trailer though, and I kind of was like, I don't know if this movie's gonna annoy me. But it was like
it might annoy you.
It was just funny enough that I was interested.
It will annoy you until the first person dies. Then you're like, they're not so annoying now.
Oh, good,
know-
they're dying.
When I watched,
Kind of, yeah.
I felt bad. I felt bad when I watched the.
Because none of them are likable. None of them were like. Nobody in the whole movie was
But
likable.
Maybe that was the point of the movie.
I think
Maybe.
it is. Based
I think
on the
it
trailer,
is
it seems
because I
like
think
it.
it's supposed to it's supposed to have like a hidden commentary on how young adults are nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Huh?
They suck.
Pretty much,
They're
yeah.
dumb
That
as crap,
they
yeah.
suck. They're shitty fucking people. This new,
Madison is a young adult for those of you.
yeah, she's 15, so
Yeah, but she's a good 15.
Yeah, but she's raised
Yeah.
by Joseph, so she can't be
she's
that bad.
she's not that bad of a kid. She actually hates most of your woke bullshit nowadays. So, yeah.
I like her.
But no, I was saying I felt bad because I was watching that because I haven't done this for a while. But there was that I was watching that 10.0 with Quick movie, and there was a guy in it. And I was like, I really hope you die first. like he annoyed me so quick.
That's whenever you know a movie is like, whenever you walk into a movie and you're like, and somebody comes on screen, like they're introducing all the people that are going to be in this movie, and that one guy walks on their screen and you're like, I hope you fucking die. But dude, it's a goddamn, you know what I mean?
Going back to like it's
a drama, it's a
American Horror
dramedy
Story.
or whatever.
American Horror Story Apocalypse. that season for Apocalypse, that blonde chick.
Oh my god.
I was like, I hope you fucking die. And then she didn't, like, forever. I think it took for fucking ever before
I hate
she
that.
died.
Was it satisfying when she
died.
did?
Yeah.
I don't even remember when she died. It was like towards the end. And I was like, fucking thank God.
Sometimes, dude, you're just like, God damn, why haven't you bit it yet?
Yeah, because
like-
she was literally like the one that deserved it the most. Like,
See, the thing, like, look at it from my point of view. Okay, so I watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Okay, I watched the entire series, and one of the worst fucking people in that whole series was Joffrey, which was
Yeah,
like
I've
he was
heard that.
supposed to be king or whatever.
yeah,
You know he won't act anymore.
Yeah, because of that role.
yeah. Everybody hates him.
Everybody hated him,
Yeah.
even though he's a super nice person.
Yeah, he really
But
is.
he went back to stage and stuff like that. But
is that where I
yeah.
he did stage?
But he so whenever he died, it came out of nowhere for one, but it was satisfying and yet disappointing at the same time because you're like, fuck, who am I gonna hate now?
Oh my
You know what I mean? Like I gotta hate somebody in this goddamn
I feel that
show.
way. There were so many people on that show to hate.
That's true, but not hate on the level that you hated Joffrey Baratheon, dude. Joffrey was a fucking dirtbag, dude. He was the worst kind of person. But then they brought in what was that fucking one person's name?
The guy who sicked the dogs on people.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget his
Yeah,
name.
whenever they brought him in, like, that's your new Joffrey. And he was a fucking piece of shit. And the sad part is I really like him as an actor, too. Because, like, he was in The Misfits, and he was in, he's been in all kinds of shit. And he's a great fucking actor. But whenever he died, too, and he died at Jon Snow's hand, dude, that was so satisfying. Because he pretty much about beat him to death. And then they sicked him on his own dogs.
I hate when they do that, when they take a movie and they're like, oh, this guy's going to be like a brutal bad guy and he's like one of your favorite actors, because then like you really feel bad for liking him.
Yeah, you're like, God damn it, I'm not supposed to like this guy. But anyway, so that's what I've been watching. Let's move on here. Let's get into our movies.
No, wait. That's how I felt with 18 and 17 and Dragon Ball Z. Like, whenever they first came in, I actually really liked them, but I felt bad or
This
wrong
show isn't
for
on anime.
liking them.
I'm not a good person for Dragon Ball Z.
I am. I know what you're saying. I get it. Because I
They're
like him too.
awesome.
I still like Android 17. She's the shit.
That's 18.
Or 18, whatever.
Duh.
Anyway, so this week we are talking about Hocus Pocus 2 and the original Hocus
Why
Pocus.
did you say it in that order?
Because that's
It
what I
kind of
said.
annoyed me too. if I'm being
Good.
honest.
I'm glad it did. I was kind of going for it. I was like, I could say 1 and 2, but I was like, that's too simple.
Gotta make
We're not
things
simple,
difficult.
bro.
Gotta make things different. All right, so hold on.
I wrote down my notes in order that they happened in the movie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I just gotta say one thing right about when they hung the witches, they would have not died that quick.
Maybe
Maybe they snapped their necks.
Their necks, no, they
I
were
know,
not far
I get
enough
it.
to snap.
Okay, so Hocus Pocus 2 was made in 1993. Stars Bette Midler.
You mean the Hocus Pocus 1?
That's what I said.
You said
You
Hocus
said 2.
Pocus 2.
Well, don't
I
fuck with
thought
me.
he said 3.
I hope it confused you guys, and I hope it pissed you off.
No, I didn't. I honestly
Okay.
didn't even. I didn't.
You're like,
even-
no, it was
it didn't-
stupid.
Yeah, it was stupid, and it didn't even register.
You sounded
with
like
me.
an idiot.
I didn't say that. You did.
Hocus Pocus 1 came out in 1993, starring Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy Najimy, directed by Kenny Ortega, and written by David Kirshner. Movie is rated PG, comes in at an hour 36. All right, and then Hocus Pocus 2, 2022, stars the same fucking people. Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy Najimy, directed by Ann Fletcher, and written by Jen D'Angelo and David Kirshner. Comes in at an hour 43, rated PG. Just released Friday. Which would have been the 1st? Or no, September 30th? I don't remember. Something like that. Just came out on Disney Plus. So if you want to watch it, go check it out on Disney. They're both on Disney Plus, as a matter of fact. Karen, do you want to give us a plot synopsis?
Sure. Put me on the spot though.
Well, I've got them right here on my phone, but I was like,
I mean,
let's see how prepared this bitch is.
Listen, sometimes you want me to do it, and sometimes you don't. So how about you fucking tell me?
I get tired of reading, man.
Well, you gotta fucking tell me though. Like sometimes you want me to do it, sometimes you don't. After 300 years of slumber, three sister witches, that's weird, are accidentally resurrected in Salem on Halloween night, and it is up to 3 kids and their newfound feline friend to put an end to the witch's reign of terror once and for all.
And then Hocus Pocus too.
Okay. Jeez, oh. 29 years have passed since the Sanderson sisters have stood in the streets of Salem. Black Flame Candle is alight once more, and the sisters are on a revenge mission. 3 high schoolers are charged with the task of stopping the witches before chaos rocks Salem, but Becca, Cassie, and Izzy must act quickly. They only have until midnight on Halloween to save their town.
That's kind of bullshit because it was only 2 of them for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah, like that one showed up at like the very fucking end, and all they needed was her blood.
Right, exactly. All right, so let's unwrap this fucking shitbag case
not to mention
thing.
They didn't even do that. That spell wouldn't even worked. At the end, the spell wouldn't have worked.
Why?
They didn't have a spider.
I know they used a stuffed spider.
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked.
Well, and I kind of had a question about that too. They said, that they needed a lover, and if Billy was telling the truth, he never was her lover.
Right.
So maybe it would work because he actually was Sarah's lover.
Well, technically,
so, like, if he was a lover of one of them.
Technically,
that's why I figured.
Technically,
in
Winifred's eyes, that was her lover. It was her lover to her, but not
count.
to him.
Yeah,
it would count. I would think it would count.
Yeah.
I'm more weird about the spider thing. So I think the spider was kind of bullshit.
Yeah, it is kind of bullshit.
It was a stuffed spider. That doesn't count. It even squeaked when it hit the ground.
But they were in the woods, so maybe there was a spider that fell in.
Let's not go there.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Just throwing it out there. It's possible.
Okay, so, obviously I have some gripes about the first movie, but the second movie I have a lot more gripes. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
I don't have gripes. I have gripes and questions.
Let me put it like this. Let's do this first. Let's go around the table and let's do would you recommend and would you watch again? For both.
Okay. The only okay, I did not like the second one.
Okay, well, hold on. Let's start with the first.
The first one I love.
Would you recommend it?
Yes.
Would you watch it again?
Absolutely.
Second one. Would you watch it again?
No.
Would you recommend it?
Depends on who I'm talking to.
Like a kid or?
Yeah, if
okay.
I mean, because the only defense I have for this movie, and it's not even a good defense, okay? Because they should have cared about our generation.
Yeah.
Because 1993.
Yeah.
That's us.
Yeah.
So they should have.
I would have been.
They should have given a shit.
I don't even know how old.
About
like 8?
Like us caring about the movie.
Oh, it's Hollywood. They don't give a crap about it.
But I don't think we were the demographic.
Right. Yeah.
They did not point that movie at us. So that is the only defense I have for it. That being said, if you're in that demographic, you might like it.
Okay, Matt. What about you for the first one?
The first one, I would recommend it. I mean, if you're into witches, my whole thing is I've never been into witches, even when I was little.
Your glasses are crooked.
He knows.
Well, even when I was young, I've never liked witches.
Right.
So, I would recommend it. Like, if you're looking for a good old movie,
like a good family movie.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, Hocus Pocus is.
Would you watch it again?
Well, yeah, I've watched it many a times.
Okay. Well, what about the second one?
I would recommend it because you've seen the first one.
Okay.
And I'm one of those people that if you see the first one, you got to see the second.
It's all about it's more of a completion thing.
Yeah. And that's really what it is to me. It's like it's a completion.
Would you watch it again?
No.
Okay. It was a straight no. All right. So Madison, would you recommend the first one?
Yes.
Would you watch it again?
No. Or yes. Sorry, I thought we were talking about the second one.
Okay, this isn't an actual.
We already know where this is going to go.
All right. Well, the second one, would you recommend?
Same thing as Matt, only if they've seen the first one.
Okay. And would you watch it again?
No.
Okay. See, I'm kind of on the same.
I've already had to watch it twice. So
yeah. So I'm kind of in the same wave here. I would recommend the first one, and I would watch it again. I've seen it several times because it's a fun Halloween movie with the kids and all that. Especially if you have kids, I would definitely recommend it. The second one, I would recommend it to kids or to an adult, maybe even that is into that kind of stuff, or has seen the first one and that. Like, yeah, of course you got to watch it. You know, would I watch it again?
That's a fair point.
Would I watch it again? No, I'm not going to watch it again. I don't. it just no, it doesn't have the nostalgia and the. I will get into all that, like all the stuff that I find to be why it's inferior compared to the first. So anyway, let's unwrap this shit bag. So
there's only one shit bag. That's the second one. Calm down.
Okay, so first off, I want to talk a little bit about the first one.
Okay.
Because let's face it, it's a classic. And honestly, it didn't even do that great back in '93. It was actually a bomb.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that had to do with the time in which it was released, because wasn't it released sometime like in the middle of summer?
Yeah, it was like the middle of summer they released it. It wasn't even around Halloween.
Yeah. They released it sometime in the middle of the summer, and like it just didn't do well.
Yeah, it bombed. Yeah. So the first thing I noticed, and this isn't a gripe or anything that I had an issue with. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but in their house at the very beginning, whenever they're coming down the steps, and the little girl scares the dad, or supposedly scares the dad. Did you know that there's a painting of the house that they're in on the wall inside the house that they're in?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, I was like, hold on, is that the fucking house?
That's actually because the house that they filmed in
had to be like some kind of.
It's a historical house, and the people that live there, they actually have that painting, and it just stays there.
I just wanted to make sure that that's what the case was.
Yeah,
I'm like, so hold on now. These people just moved into this house and said, I want a painting of this house in my house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Basically,
like
they found it in the attic, and they were like, we're going to put this right there.
So, yeah, I just thought it was kind of weird.
I'd do that. I'd hang a picture old. Listen, who cares?
Like, okay, this I do not understand. I didn't understand when I was a kid. So, right at the very beginning when they first get Emily, right? And she's sitting in the chair. Like, she literally just sits there.
Yeah, she does nothing.
She does nothing to
nothing.
Wasn't she?
But I don't think so.
I don't know,
because
man.
Danny, they had to tie her to the chair.
Yeah.
She wasn't under the spell, though. She didn't hear the song. In the beginning, you can hear the
That's true, I guess.
That's true.
Yeah, but still, hold on now. Here's another part of that's fucked up. He literally sat there at the top, like up on that thing,
just
watching this whole time while they made their brew, and then even gave it to her, and he's like, "Stop!"
Yeah,
like, dude, you've been sitting there for 20 fucking minutes.
Yeah, he waited until they gave it to her. Yeah,
like, what are you doing? Like,
stop.
Yeah,
who goes in?
Yeah, you're a little bit fucking late.
Yeah, man. You sat there for 20 minutes. Now you're gonna jump in and save her? You dipshit.
It's like someone sitting at
but
I loved
how they have this giant cauldron. And you know that fucker's hot.
Oh, yeah.
And they're, like, pushing it back and forth barehanded. Now, the witches I can kind of understand because they're witches, right?
Yeah.
But he's, like, barehanded, and then he picks it up and topples it. Like,
That's a lot of weight, dude.
And barehanded. Yeah. You know that thing's hot. And he just...
Fuck you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it's, like, it's very, like, hollow. You know what I mean? Like, there's not really a lot of...
Have you ever tried to pick up a cauldron?
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
I know it's very
heavy as shit.
I know.
Like, you go back, like,
well, they're fucking galvanized steel.
Yeah, if you ever go, like, we would used to go to like those Pioneer things back when we were kids, and they'd have like, the houses you could go into, and they'd have that like whole setup where you could go into like the old kitchens back in the day, and they'd have that big cauldrons where you could go and and even the small ones you could go.
They're fucking heavy.
They're heavy.
Well, it's like a cast iron skillet.
Yeah.
I mean, if you use a cast iron skillet, they're fucking heavy. That's just a skillet.
Yeah.
Back to the Emily thing. I know she's a kid and she probably has ADHD, but in the background,
what the fuck? There was no interaction with this Emily girl.
She died.
Yeah,
remember?
But she has ADHD. Like,
no. I mean, her.
I'm not even sure that was that a thing. Was ADHD a thing in the 1600s?
I mean, her actor probably has ADHD or something, because in the chair behind while they were talking or whatever, you could see her in the chair moving, like fidgeting and stuff, while she's dead.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
I didn't even notice that.
I'm gonna have to.
I've seen that movie hundreds of times.
I know. I never even looked.
She's probably got bored with just being there. Like,
the thing is though, I always watch dead bodies. Like in movies, I'm like, that motherfucker's gonna breathe.
You're waiting for him to move.
He will. Yeah. I know he will. I'm gonna have to watch that now. I'm gonna have to watch Emily the next time I watch it and be like, that bitch is gonna move.
Well, you can tell because she was moving in one scene. You can tell that they must have yelled at her or something because she wasn't moving.
Like she would. Yeah.
Like, hey, listen. Somebody give her the fucking pills. Give her the pills. You gotta stop moving. I'm trying to film a fucking movie. I will replace you. Where's Kirsten Dunst? Get me Kirsten Dunst.
That's hilarious.
Fuck, dude.
Oh my god. But like, so it was
fucking
just
unprofessional little fucking 9-year-old.
Like it was just morning when they show up. Because Thackeray just woke up, right?
Right.
Like it was just morning. They were there for 10 minutes, and the villagers show up, and it's dark.
It's fucking dark. Which means he was probably watching the whole thing go on. They probably started brewing that shit as soon as they...
like how long did that brew take?
Right.
I mean, he could have snuck down at any point, grabbed his sister. So I mean,
right.
I mean,
if he got the right opening.
I'm just saying it.
Well, not to mention his buddy kind of failed him a little bit. He's like, "Go get the others, hurry!"
Yeah,
and then he runs off, and then
it took all fucking day.
It took all day. Like, hold on.
All day to get like 10
I'm
people.
hungry. Maybe I should get something to eat.
Let
first.
me finish my fucking coffee before you go screaming in my ear about missing children.
No, not just any missing children. His missing sister.
And why didn't Binks like tell his dad? Like he can talk, right? We've established that.
See, I'll give him one thing. Maybe he didn't know he could talk until later on.
You know, are we talking about as a cat?
Yeah.
Because I was wondering about that. I thought maybe the only reason he could talk was because the witches were back.
Oh, that's a good point.
They never really.
But then why didn't he talk to Max and Danny's parents to prove to them that the witches were like
That's what
real?
I was thinking about the other. Or yesterday
maybe
too.
they're the.
Because if I'm trying to prove to my parents, because she even holds up the cat, and she goes,
"Look, this cat can talk,
and he can talk."
Yeah.
Well,
he doesn't say anything.
He just said
he's like, well, I'm not going to prove you right.
Meow.
Well, maybe
yeah, he's like, I'm not going to prove you right.
Maybe they can only hear the cat because they are the ones who.
Maybe because they're actually because they're children.
Because they were there when the
or maybe it's because
lit.
they're children.
Or maybe they were there when the candle was lit. They're part of the curse.
If Max and Danny were children, then or not Danny, Alice were children, then why wouldn't they have followed the voices too?
Yeah, that was my thing. Is
well, if they're trying to absorb the souls of children, Max drinks the shit, and she's able to absorb his stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not.
I said that in a very non-sexual way. I swear. Bette Midler is not a cradle robber. That we're aware of.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think she is. No. But here's the other thing. Like, okay, so Jay and Ice, they're like the bullies in this movie, right?
Yeah. They're complete
pervs.
Very
bullies.
Yeah. Not only are they pervs, but dude, they're complete opposites.
But hear me out. If they were like in our high school, they would have gotten the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah.
Well, they would not be the bullies. They
what it reminded me of?
It
reminded me of like if Billy.
Who would have been scared of those guys?
Nobody.
Not one fucking person.
You know what they reminded me of? It reminded me of it if Vanilla Ice and Billy Joel were friends. You know what I mean? Like that's what it seemed like to me.
And what I mean by their pervs is there's actually one part where you want to go look in girls' windows while they're changing.
Exactly.
Yeah, while they undress.
Why was that
it's
okay?
3 in the morning. They're already undressed.
It's 3 in the morning. They're already undressed.
But why is that an okay thing for kids to do?
Especially for a PG movie.
Well, the thing is this movie wasn't supposed to be so PG. Like,
No,
it was supposed
wasn't.
to be a little bit dark. It was supposed to be a darker movie.
It was supposed to focus on the witches.
A lot more, yeah.
Yeah.
And they do that a lot. One thing I will give them for the new one is they do focus a lot more on the witches.
They tried to go back to that.
Yeah, but the problem
one.
with the new one compared to the old one is that they had so much more energy for these characters back then.
Yeah.
Like they're so well acted.
Well,
they're just so goofy. Like especially like Sarah. Remember how dumb and like ditzy she was?
Look,
they really took that away from her in the new one.
Look, I think Bette Midler got to make a second one, and I'm happy for her.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I love Bette Midler. Don't get me wrong. I don't dislike any of these actors.
I'm happy for her. I just think it was unnecessary.
Yeah, for sure.
I wish that they hadn't done it. If I'm being honest.
The Mother Witch, I wish we'd have seen more of her.
She wasn't their mother though. I'm pissed about that.
Well, they call her the Mother Witch.
You know what was funny is
but in the first one. That's another thing I have a problem with on the second one.
They praise Mother.
They shit on the first one in a few ways.
Yeah.
Like in the first one, they keep talking about their mother.
Yeah.
Mother's pie. Mother, mother. And like how much they love their mother. And like, mom cooked for them and mom did this and mom did that. all of a sudden in the second one they don't have a fucking mother.
Yeah, they
it's just
they
some
live by
random
themselves.
bitch in the fucking woods that hands them a book.
Yeah.
And didn't in the first one they said that Winifred was given the book by Satan himself.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think they do say that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's some random bitch that apparently was their mother.
Yeah.
And
Bullshit.
then also, my big thing too is with the second one. Where is the mother? That was my main question.
That's my point.
The
No,
mother?
that their mother never existed. The witch was their mother.
Then I think that they should have at least maybe even alluded to the mother witch coming back, because the fact that she just like hands him a book and then disappears fucks off for the rest of the movie.
But that's my point. I don't think I don't think that she was supposed to come back, even an illusion. I don't think that they were even retroing that at all. They were just saying they didn't have a mother.
Okay.
And that's what pissed me off.
Disney does that a lot, though.
Yeah.
They kill off the mothers.
But in the first one,
I know. I'm saying. But yeah, Disney does that a lot. Kills off the mothers.
One thing that I really just didn't like about the second movie, I hate that Disney's doing this more and more. That they're taking villains and making them semi-good,
trying to make them
less villainous.
Yes.
Like Winifred at the end, like where she becomes like this good. Like I just want my sister.
Right.
Like okay, I understand you love your sisters,
Sure.
but dude, she was way too.
She was because when they said
she was way too
has to give up
submissive at the
something
end.
that she loved. My first thing is she's gonna die. Because she don't give two craps about her sister. She's more about
Right,
herself.
exactly. In the first movie, she was like, "Why was I
Cursed with such idiot sisters?"
And then even in the second one, she says,
"Lucky, I guess."
even in the second one,
Explain what?
Mary started laughing.
in the second one, she even calls them vermin and stuff when they're talking about the spell. Mm-hmm. So,
Well, I mean, I think it's one thing to take people for granted because you know that they're always going to be there.
Right.
But then if they're gone and you realize like they're gone and you realize how much you did care for them, I can kind of understand that as a character development point.
But the fact that she like essentially begs those girls to like, can you help me? Can you help me? She
You
wouldn't
have
do
the book
that.
now, your
Yeah,
children
and
can read it.
okay, and this is another point that I feel like it shit on the first one. The fucking book chooses a white witch
Over
Exactly.
Over the dark witch?
Winifred.
Oh, that's what I
No.
was going to say earlier.
Yeah,
I
no.
think the whole devil giving them the book thing, I think that was a conspiracy made up by the humans later on in the season.
And it could have been, but
yeah, because she never specifically says that the book was given to her by the devil.
right, and that's possible. But I guess my point is that, you know, one plot point is that, you know, they keep talking about their mother in the first one, how much they loved her. They talk about her cooking. They talk, this is a mother. This is somebody that
Exactly.
raised them.
Right.
And now all of a sudden she didn't exist. And she's the one that gave them the book.
I don't
And-
understand where their parents were. They could have explained that maybe a little. Like even just a one-liner or something. Like, oh yeah, if mom and dad hadn't got ran over by that horse and buggy, you know what I mean? But like, or something like
but-
that, you know?
But you know, I don't think that was the intention. I think that it was just like you just have to accept what we're telling you.
Yeah, exactly.
And fuck off. I don't agree with that.
And I think
And
that
I really, really, really hated that the book goes, oh yeah, I'm gonna go over here and be with this white witch now.
Exactly.
I hated the fact that the teenager was all of a sudden a witch. Like,
It
gives
was
a
her
fuck. Like, I don't
16th
want you
birthday,
to be
I
the
guess.
central plot point. I don't give a fuck about you.
right.
Maybe
yeah.
that they did that just so they could maybe have an opening for a
No,
third
See,
one.
the issue.
reason they did that is because in the second one they were straight up trying to glorify witchcraft. That's what they did in the second one. They were trying
Yeah.
to glorify witchcraft.
See, my issue with the second one,
I don't
and
know
I think
about that, but
I think that what really drives the second one down, and what it makes it feels like, or makes it feel like a lower budget film or like a made for TV film, are those three girls.
Yes.
They make it feel like a Disney
feels-
Channel fucking
yes, it
special.
makes it- yes.
You know what I mean? They make it
Yes.
feel that way. Not Bette Midler,
No.
not Sarah Jessica
No.
Parker, not Kathy and Jimmy. Like they make it feel like an A-list movie.
Yes.
But those
100%.
girls don't. They don't make it feel like a big budget movie.
No.
Because honestly, some
I
of the
hated
sets,
them. I
some of
hated them.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of the sets looked a little cheesy,
Sure.
but for the most part, like it looks like a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like the part with them in the garage where they're standing, like that shot where the garage door comes up and he pulls up with his car and they're in that circle of salt.
Yeah.
That was a good shot. That was a fucking high dollar shot. That was a good. I really liked that shot. I was like, man, that is some good cinematography right there.
I got some things to say about the house. Actually, the house, first of all, probably wouldn't have existed as long as it did, because I'm pretty sure the villagers would have burned it down because they would have thought it was evil.
Well, it depends.
Second of all, even if it was closed
back
down,
then, you got to understand. Hold on, back then they would have stayed. They would have avoided that house at all costs. And
they would have most likely burn it down.
No, they wouldn't burn it down in fear of being cursed.
Well, either way, okay. But then there's also a part where it's the museum, which is fine. But even if it's closed, wouldn't they still have a caretaker to clean up?
Oh, in the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Yeah. Because there was a lot of
trust me, there's some. I've got gripes about the first one, like the part where he walks in and he's able to take this Zippo that's apparently covered in dust, and he just lights it. No. I'm a Zippo guy.
They last a long time.
Not that long. No.
Well, they said it was only closed for like 2 years or something.
Doesn't matter.
Like that.
I guarantee you, if you could fill up a Zippo lighter, and you might get lucky if you go back to it in 2 weeks and it still has fluid in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, it's nice to know that was just not me, because my Zippo lighters did not.
Yeah, they don't hold fluid very long. It actually evaporates quite quickly.
So I have like, this is the one thing that killed me. So, when Winifred decides to bring back a zombie, why did she decide to bring back the one guy that had no reason at all to help her?
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I just love that he was conveniently right there.
She poisoned him, killed him.
Sewed his mouth shut.
Yeah. And she goes, I'm going to bring back the one guy that has absolutely no fucking reason to help me.
Yep.
Well, if you think about it, nobody else in that grave liked her from the second movie, though. But in the first movie, I don't think.
I think
a witch,
I think the biggest thing was.
But if she's a witch, she could probably bring back anybody.
I think she would have brought him back. I think she would have brought him back just out of fear spite, like out of pure spite to just be her servant. Like
but he doesn't have to be.
That's true. He doesn't have to be,
and he's not gonna.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
I'm like, yeah, fuck you. I'm go back to sleep.
Yeah.
But
at the end, he totally had time to react before his head got knocked off. I'm just saying, like he's standing there like.
Oh, also, Danny too. Whenever the witch is coming down to like pick her up, she's just standing here like this, looking at other people. What are you doing? Move, duck, do something.
Yeah.
I thought after the teacher tells the story in the class, and the guy says that Halloween's just made up by the candy companies. The girl who told the one girl who says she's not even right about how Halloween was invented.
Samhain and all that.
It wasn't Samhain. It was actually created by the Druids, and it was created as it was called Samhain, and it was for and they did think that there was it was the time that spirits could come through.
Yeah, it was the time. Holiday. It was the time between when the veil between the living and the dead is the thinnest, and the dead can.
I thought Samhain was pronounced Samhain. Like that's how it's actually
It might have been.
Yeah.
What it was back in the day. They would sacrifice. It was a way. It was the time of the year
into the fall.
Yeah, it was going from the nicer months into the colder months.
Yeah.
So they would sacrifice animals and sometimes even humans to help because that was whenever death was most prominent, was during the winter. So they would sacrifice an animal or a child or something like that to better their odds.
They believed that at the time the veil between the living and the dead was at its thinnest because of what we know now. Time changes, or the way that the Earth, reacts with the sun, and the way that it becomes darker earlier and everything. They thought that all had to do with the spirits are making it darker earlier because they want to come back, and that's
see because what I'm talking about mainly the girl, because I watched a show on Halloween. How it was. She says it was called Hallows Eve. It wasn't called Hallows Eve until way.
Oh yeah.
After
It was Samhain for a long time. Can we just talk about can we talk about Sarah Jessica Parker's eyebrows in the second?
I don't
for
even
just a second.
They were all right in the first one, but the second one,
holy shit,
dude, she's got some crazy neck muscles.
I didn't pay.
I was too. This all right here.
Yeah.
Was like
looked at her.
it was
Sarah
like
Jessica
they
Parker's
were
just
fine
like
until you got to about here, and then it was like caterpillars.
I remember having
blended
I remember
into
being
her
a kid.
eyeshadow.
I mean, I was like,
I remember as a
Sarah,
kid I
what
had
are
a
you
crush
doing?
on her on Sarah from the movie.
Yeah,
But,
and
like,
then you
in-
realize later who she is, and you're like,
you're
hey,
like,
wait,
God,
that's
she's
not the
ug-
same
yeah,
person,
you're
is
like,
it?
she's ugly, dude. Like,
Yeah,
she's not an attractive person.
yeah.
I don't think that I don't know, like I said, they don't bring the same energy to this movie, to the second movie that they did for the first one.
Well, they're
like,
a
I
lot
know that they're
older.
older, like they're 30 years older. I mean, they're
Mary
probably
did
all
good, but
grandmas.
She didn't bark as much, and it kind of bothered me.
I know. I really liked it when
Did
Mary
you know
barked.
she actually they had to put like a fat suit on her to make her look as big as she did in the first one,
you
because
serious?
she's lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't even look as big though either. Still,
No.
and I think that one of the first things that I really didn't like about the second movie was as soon as they come back, they jump into a dance number, like a
Yeah,
fucking song.
I wrote
What
that
is
down
that?
too.
I'm like, why?
Hold on, we just had one dance number, dance and song in the first one. Can we just stick with that
Yeah.
formula?
And then even the second one wasn't even good.
no,
It wasn't even good. And then like the end song, like during the credits, I was
Yeah.
like, that's dumb. I don't need this.
now we're at number 3. I'm over it.
Yeah.
The first and second one, I want to know how in the heck they know words to modern songs.
They're witches.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
They didn't even know what year they were in. How are they going to know what
It's
songs?
a kids
popular?
movie.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Maybe they
So-
were just going by like the beat. They didn't actually know what they were saying.
Maybe. I mean, I liked the dance number in the first one. It was fun. It was like the best
Yeah,
part of the movie.
Yeah, it was really good.
But the second one, man, it was overkill. Especially coming
it
back.
felt forced.
It was very forced. Like especially the first one where they first come back and then they just jump into a dance.
break
And
right
they
into
even
song.
say like, "Who are they singing for?" They're like, "For you."
Yeah.
You know,
No, she
at,
didn't
like a
say
little jump
for,
scare.
She's like, you!
Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, this got weird. So right
Yeah.
off the bat.
Like, okay, and then I have this question too. So in the first movie, we're shown what the house looked like when the sisters were alive, back in the 1600s, right? So it's clearly on the water. You see the wheel.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a
Right.
mill, right? You see, Binks climbing it when he's a human.
Yeah.
Water.
Yeah.
So the house sits on what? Water.
Water.
Right?
Yeah.
We have a basement.
That's what I.
In the
my
second
question
one?
It wasn't a
was-
base.
In the
it was a
second
crawl
one, it's in the
space.
middle of the town.
It wasn't a crawl.
Well, that's
space,
because they
but
built the
yeah.
town around
well,
it.
Yeah, but I
They
mean,
built the town around
In
it.
the
Yeah.
beginning, in the first
Oh.
one, there was no town around it. It was in the woods.
No, it wasn't. There was a town around it.
yeah, well, it was
You just
still in the
didn't-
woods, but it was like
Is their house
Just
in
steps
the Forbidden
away.
Woods? Because
No.
why wouldn't they be in the Forbidden Woods though?
In the first one, you see the kid Binks run into the woods to get to the house.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yes, in the second one though, in the second one though, the town is built around it. Those buildings were not. If you also know, Salem looked totally different than it did in 1993, and it was not in the middle of the house. It was still in the woods.
Sydney doesn't look the same as it did in 1993.
That's true too. But also, one thing that you have to understand, dude, is the first movie was completely filmed in Salem, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
The second one was not.
Right.
Most of it was done. A lot of it was done
Hampshire.
in New Hampshire and on a soundstage. So they didn't do a lot of the filming. I don't know if they did any filming in Salem.
No.
I think they might have filmed a few key spots. Like I think the town hall area. I think that's in Salem. I think there's a couple of spots that's in Salem, but for the most part, dude, they didn't hardly film.
No, it was Rhode Island. It was primarily shot in Rhode Island, and reshots were done in Astoria and Queens, New York.
Yeah.
The original was filmed in Salem and Marblehead, Massachusetts, and a few scenes were filmed in Hollywood on sound stages. And I even wrote, I thought the second one looked fake.
Yeah, it does. And I knew that before we even watched the movie that it wasn't filmed in Salem, which really killed it. Is another thing that really killed it for me because it didn't feel.
I tried to learn as little about the second one as possible because I wanted to go.
I didn't know
into it.
this. I didn't know this. It was just kind of one of those things that was kind of thrown in my face. So
I wanted to go into it like with an open mind as much as possible because I really didn't want my own prejudices to.
I will say.
I try.
I
really,
will say.
really try.
I went into this movie with no hope for it, and I came out thinking, well, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was.
That's
gonna be.
exactly how I. Yeah.
So I'll give it that. Like, it was not... Do I think it's a terrible movie? Not by a long shot. It's not a terrible movie.
I thought the ending saved it just a little bit.
I think... Don't get me wrong. I say that I hate the fact that Disney's turning these villains into better people or whatever.
Exactly.
But, dude, seeing Bette Midler's character kind of weep over her sisters is honestly kind of fucking tear-jerking.
Well, yeah, and as a character development, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And you see it in...
But Bette
movie.
Midler sells it because she's such a good actress. I
does.
fucking love Bette Midler.
She's
dude.
amazing. I think, as character development, it's great. It makes sense. But I really I had a big problem with, the book leaving her for this white witch and for this other girl
Her and that
getting
book
her
might
powers.
as well have been married though. Like the way
Especially
she
in the
acted
first one.
about it.
Well, yeah, and my thing is like it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't though.
And then them trying to like push this new witch on us. Like, I give no shits about this girl. I give no
I don't.
shits.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think that the girls they did poorly. I don't think they did bad for the movie.
No, but I feel like it was so forced. To
It was
say,
very
like,
forced.
She's
yeah.
a witch, and she's,
yeah, like it's a new coven, blah
like,
blah blah.
I don't.
But
give a shit.
one note that I did say about the movie was that it's trying to push a positive message of sisterhood, which is good. I like that. I like that whole thing that they were trying to do. But they could have just done that with the Sanderson sisters, because at the end it showed. But they were trying to show you two different spectrums of this whole sisterhood narrative. Like, oh, this girl here respects her friends and they stick together, whereas Bette Midler's character Winifred was selfish and only thought of her sisters as pawns.
Yeah.
There was another thing though, like the candle, the black flame candle. In the first movie, they said it was made out of a man's fat. So
Yeah.
how did the guy make it?
Hangman's fat.
Yeah, hangman's fat.
Yeah.
So how did the guy make it in the second one?
He said the book told. Wasn't it the book?
The book, yeah, the
he
book
said
helped him
he
make
had
it.
trouble finding the stuff. He can still find the stuff, but he's trying. I think he's trying to make it say that the book told him a different way to make it.
Probably instead of a hangman, because technically it's an executioner, you could go get the fat of an executioner, which is still a thing. A person who throws the switch or whatever,
Yeah.
So
I don't know. The basement thing bothered me because, and maybe they built it afterwards, but
there was no storage.
They're having water underneath it. It wouldn't have had a basement originally.
that basement looked too new anyway. It wasn't a basement anyway, it was a crawl space.
But they knew it was there, is my thing. They wouldn't have known it was there unless it was there when they were...
That's what I'm saying, it looked new, so I think that it was...
Couldn't it be a magic basement?
Well, it did have magical stairs.
Maybe.
No, she just made them disappear.
Yeah, she just kidding.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, the witches knew the basement existed, which alludes to the fact that the basement existed when they lived there, which is impossible because the house sat on water.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe they didn't care as much back then about, crawl space damage and things.
But why would you have stairs that lead... I mean,
I don't know. Is that your biggest gripe about this movie?
It doesn't make sense. That's why I wrote it down.
Of course it don't make sense, but I can tell you there's a lot of things that don't make sense. There are witches in this movie.
I don't think it's right how easy he gave up his
I think that's
shoes.
a legit thing to say, though. Like, there's a basement now?
And Max, in the first one,
Yeah.
why'd he give up his shoes so easy? Dude, you're from
I
LA.
don't-
That's what I'm
Exactly.
saying. Nobody's scared of these motherfuckers.
Dude, you're from LA, too.
His little sister was less scared of the two.
That
dudes
is
than
such a trope,
he
too,
was.
in movies. It's
And
like
then
where there's like a little sister and she's not
She's got
scared.
bigger balls than the older brother,
It's
and
such
blah,
a
blah, blah.
trope.
And and the thing too, also when he comes out and she's trying to, I got my brother with me, and then they walk away and he's like, you humiliated me. No, dude, you humiliated
Exactly.
Yeah, you did this
Exactly.
yourself, dude.
All you had to do is at least stand up to him. If you get the shit kicked out of you, at least you didn't.
Yeah.
Come the fuck on.
I think that the
Especially
brother,
with the anger issues that they show he has.
Mm-hmm.
He's not, his character would not back down from, you know what I mean? Like, he would stand up for himself, and he would probably fight them.
He was standing up for himself more against the Sanderson sisters than he was.
Yeah,
to-
his attitude and his anger,
Dude.
he would have fought those guys over those shoes.
That sprinkler thing, that was fucking smooth.
That was.
That was smooth when he stood up there and was like, I'm the great and powerful Max, and he fucking.
And she's like,
oh, what did he call it? The burning rain of death. And they're like, oh, the burning rain of death, and they run underneath.
And then they're like, oh, he makes fire from his hands.
That was smooth. That was smooth as fuck.
He's holding fire.
I liked the brother and sister's relationship though. Like, at the beginning, and then also at the end, I think Max was a good brother.
And I think
you know what I hate about that. You know what I hate about that little girl is
she's a brat.
No, I hate that little girl because I know her from other movies.
You saw what she became.
Yeah, she does have a big forehead, but she she was in American Beauty,
and you see her boobs, and
she goes topless in American Beauty. Yeah. So seeing her at such a young age, that's her. Yeah,
that's all I could see too. Like I'm sitting there, like, oh my god,
I only seen like American Beauty like once.
That's a great movie. I love it.
Oh, it's one of my favorites.
It was just weird because I remember watching that movie and being like, dude, that's the little girl from fucking Hocus Pocus. That's weird. Like,
but like you were talking about the sisterhood thing. I think they were trying to recreate, that Danny and Max thing. Yeah. Like where you had that dynamic between the Sanderson sisters and these friends, and they just did a bad job.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think that they're trying to execute something and they executed it poorly.
Correct.
Did you guys notice that Max had a pinhead skateboard and it was really cool?
Yeah, I did.
Did you notice that in the second one, whenever they're in the classroom, the girl with the blue hair was wearing a Freddy Krueger sweater?
I did.
I did.
And did you guys notice that when they were in the carnival, there's a game in the background that says, "Dost thou comprehend?"
Is that what it was called? Really? Dost thou comprehend?
Well, I'm pretty sure you guys noticed the couple that was dressed like in the movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then also there's two guys watching the movie.
I hated that. I hated that.
When that came up, I'm like,
that was actually a nod at the LGBTQ plus community because
the two gay guys were saying.
Yeah, because what it was
were they gay guys? I thought they were just high.
No, that's actually believable too. But no, that was a nod at because the reason why the first movie grew so much traction over time was largely because of the gay community.
I can see that.
It was a huge nod at the gay community for the support of the first one. Yeah. I think that's what they were trying to do because
that knocks it down a point for me.
Why? Because there's gay people, or?
Well, first of all, it's it doesn't really knock it down a point, but I just get tired of the gay thing being gay and transgender being shoved up in. It's not.
I don't think that's what they were trying to do.
I agree.
I think that they were just
giving a nod.
It was a nod to the gay community for being supportive. It's like a thank you.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
A thank you.
So it's them saying thank you for being supportive and making our movie as wonderful as it is.
Making the first one have such a good following.
That's exactly
when it bombed initially.
Which is cool, I'm that's cool, give a little nod. I just didn't like it because of the fact that they were watching the movie in the movie.
That's what I
didn't like that. Or the fact that they're dressing up as characters from the first movie that really wouldn't be relevant. You know what I mean?
The girl that was dressed up as Madonna again, and the devil guy.
Yeah, the devil guy and his wife, and blah blah blah. Which, by the way, they're brother and sister in real life.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
hello.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
I don't know if I wrote that down or not.
Yeah.
I think that's just kind of.
Yeah, they're brother and sister.
I didn't know they were brother and sister.
Yeah. But so I just didn't like that. That was one of the things about the second movie that I was like, don't do that. You know what I mean? You're trying to make it too meta.
And it doesn't make any sense that why would they be watching a movie that technically doesn't exist because it wasn't a movie, it was real life.
That's what I'm saying. I was too meta for me.
I can't fucking stand that
too
when
meta.
They do that shit.
It was almost like a Scream movie, kind of. You know
also,
what I mean?
one thing I'm wondering is he lit the candle. Why was everybody like it was a weird thing that he was 15 and a virgin?
I didn't get that either because I was like, "You're a virgin."
You're a virgin,
you're 15.
I know because he kept looking at his girlfriend or Alice or whatever, and you're a virgin, with.
And what's funny, what I was thinking the whole time is what if she would have lit the candle?
Yeah.
Is she a virgin?
Yeah, she.
No, because he was when he did the honors, she was like, "No, thank you."
That's what I thought too. Whenever he was like, "You want to do the honors?" She's like, "No, thank you." Probably because it wouldn't work, bitch.
That's hilarious because we were watching the second one, and I don't remember who said something about the virgin thing, And I said, that's always a thing in these movies. Somebody's a virgin or whatever. And I said something about Monster Squad. And Jeremiah said, oh, no, they weren't a virgin in Monster Squad. And I said, yeah, they were. And he was like, no, they were a virgin.
A virgin.
You remember? He's like, is she a virgin?
Is she a virgin? It's funny because in the second one, I like that part where the kid's like, what's a virgin? And he's like, well, because it's so funny because nowadays you get a lot of movies where the whole virgin, huh?
He said someone who's never lit a candle.
Yeah, somebody who's never lit. It's so funny because nowadays,
that's something I would have been with somebody who's never lit a candle.
Yeah, and then that kid's gonna light a candle, and be like, I'm not a virgin anymore.
I'm not a virgin anymore.
Like 5 years old.
Hey, you seen how the mom was looking at him? That's not his problem.
Oh God!
Yeah, he's like, doesn't matter. She's she's lit plenty of candles. You know what I mean?
If you get my drift.
If you get my drift.
Now, like this kind of bothered me in the second one too. So in the first movie, they put that spell on Binks, right? And they have that one scene where they're all putting the spell on, and the girl and the sisters, do their little spell casting with Winnie and in the second one, she says twist the bones and bend the back, and then they go, whatever.
Yeah.
In the second one, they cast. There you go.
Magica.
Yeah.
Magica.
Yeah.
Mystica. Yeah.
So in the second one, they cast like 3 spells, right?
Yeah.
And the sisters always just have those words. Like they don't have any
that's
other.
That's all they say is.
Well, if you
that's all. That's all. They're just background singers.
Yeah.
They just always say the same thing.
In the third movie, though, I mean, in the second one,
I hope there's not a third movie.
Oh God!
in the second one, the girls they realized that we just know the words.
Yeah, but my point is that like I've never seen witches.
Didn't we just go through this gripe with another movie where like, oh, it was Knights of Badass, and where we're like, so he can just chant anything he wants?
Yeah, like
you know what I mean?
I've never seen like any. I mean, I don't know a lot of witches to be fair, but like I
know plenty of bitches though.
Yeah, I don't think that there's witches out there that use the same words and get different results on their spells.
Right,
I'm just saying, like it doesn't make sense.
I don't think there's witches out there.
You're missing my point entirely.
There was another part in the movie that I didn't even notice until not this last time that I watched, but the time before that. I didn't even realize that the reason why Winnie turned the stone before she blew up was because she was on
the hallowed ground.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't realize that until
I never understood that until now, because I questioned that. I was like watching it this time. I'm like, hold on, why does she turn to stone? Because she's not even supposed to be on hallowed ground.
See, when I was a kid,
like I just now realized because she said that's why. Okay, so yeah.
When I was a kid, I thought it was just because Winnie was like the leader, and then sometime in my adult life, I realized it was because she was on hollow ground. But
the thing is, she didn't turn to stone until she stood up. So her sole feet have to literally be on the ground.
Well, she started to smoke when she like got up on when she got up on her knee,
right.
And then when she stood up, she started to smoke more. So it was like as soon as she hit the ground, you could see some smoke coming off of her.
Well, let me ask you this: would you rather turn to stone or blow up?
Both.
Turn to stone and blow up?
Yeah, I would rather blow up because I don't want to stay stoned forever.
Fuck that, dude.
I'd
love to be stoned forever.
Conscious. Unless I'm not conscious.
What about you, man? You want to get stoned forever?
Stuck there forever?
I'd rather blow up.
It was a joke, get stoned.
Yeah.
Stoned forever.
If I turn to stone and then blow up, then I won't feel it. But it'll still be cool because I'm witnessing.
I think I'd rather be stoned, turn to stone, because then you got to look at my ass still.
Yeah, but that'd be stuck in your own body. Forever.
Not really, though. I mean, I don't know, dude. I'd
be so bored in my own head.
I'd just be afraid of being vandalized.
I put it on the second
How do you think Billy felt?
Dogs humping my leg.
Yeah, I put that down. I was like, that would suck being awake in a coffin.
But he wasn't at the end of the first one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
He was asleep.
But it's still that
was another bullshit part. They're like, oh, I've been awake this whole time, dude. No, you.
And why are you still in your coffin?
Yeah.
I don't know about you, dead or alive. I'd get bored.
Yeah, because actually, if he was still awake, he could have just chilled out at the below where below the
at the
where
crypt or whatever,
like,
in the crypt.
There were places you could have gone, Billy. I'm just saying, like that he wasn't awake.
Travel the country.
That's stupid. Yeah, it's stupid. I didn't
Put
like
on a
that
mask
either.
and say I'm allergic to the sun.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. I didn't like that whole. I was awake the whole time. No, you weren't.
But I will say though that Billy and the jock were the two best parts of the whole movie. I love both their characters, dude.
Well,
yeah.
that was great.
I was just making conversation.
That was great.
I was just making conversation.
That was
the one
great.
thing I thought was really stupid is when the girl comes in the class and she puts a stone on the thing, and the girl goes, "What do you need good luck for?" That is not a stone that symbolizes good luck.
Huh? What? How many witches do you know?
I know people who used to think stones had power.
Joseph, witches don't exist. Just so you know,
stone has power.
There
are people out there.
There are people that, because that's what I did. I looked up to see if that was a stone, and no, that's not one of the stones. There are people who think stones have power.
Maybe that's just
Tyler
her
used to
lucky
think that
stone.
stones had power.
Why?
Because it's a pagan thing.
That's so weird.
But maybe that's just her lucky stone.
I was thinking that too, and I thought that is okay. But I was saying,
I did love that she was like murmuring or like saying like vegan foods in his ear.
That was funny. Look, there was some funny moments.
Yeah,
in the
and then he's
one.
like,
I
heard the word Satan. She said Satan.
No,
Yeah.
or satang.
Satang or something.
Yeah.
She's like, I was literally whispering vegan foods.
Yeah.
I was
That
like,
was
I don't know
pretty
nothing
funny.
about vegan foods, but that did sound like some witchery.
Yeah, that was funny.
But
yeah.
Tyler used to think that stones held power, and my mom, she don't think that stones have power. But she has a thing that has like it has what's the purple stone?
Amethyst.
She has amethyst, and she has we have a whole bunch of different stones on it, and then we have a little Celtic tree of life that has other stones on it. And it's because my mom don't think that stones have power; she just thinks they're pretty. But yeah, Tyler used to think that all those stones had power.
I don't think that stones have power, but I understand like people. I think that some people.
I'm more understandable if it's just good luck to her.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am. Like,
but,
I feel like some people just have those things as like
charm
or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like a lucky rabbit's foot. You know what I mean? Things like that.
What was going by is that's a stone for good luck, and it's not.
Oh, well, maybe it was just her lucky rock. It is a pretty rock.
It was a nice rock, but I'm just saying. Yeah.
Okay, let's get through our notes here a little bit. Let me get. Well, I've got a lot of fucking notes, and I don't know. We've touched on a lot of them, but
I don't know about you, but Mary was the best part of both.
Oh, I did think that the girl in the beginning that played Winifred, the little girl, the redhead,
she did a good
she
job.
did a great job,
Yeah,
man. I thought she was so good. She had a lot of energy for it. Yeah, the tapping. Like, you could tell she definitely studied the first movie.
She did.
Because it's so funny because, like, you could tell she studied the first movie because after that, whenever it comes into Bette Midler playing the part, she loses a lot of what she did from the first movie. So you could tell that, like, she was definitely... She probably got no guidance from Bette Midler and was very much, just watching the first movie.
Watch me do you.
Yeah.
You don't tell me nothing. Watch me do this.
And I think that's what it was. I think that's what it was she watched the first movie and got nothing from Bette Midler.
My brother, we were talking about this movie at the camper last weekend or whatever, and he was bitching up a storm, and he said something about the girl that played Winifred, and he was like, what was she, 9? And she's supposed to be 16? And he was just going on and on and on.
Eric? Oh my God.
And hi, Eric. He'll be listening, because he always listens on Fridays.
Hey, Eric. Hey, buddy.
But, anyway, he's like going up, and he's like, oh, she didn't look 16. And I see Kendra standing there with her phone. I'm like, oh. And so then she's sitting there, and then she looks at him, and she goes, she was 15.
Called you out.
Oh, well, she didn't look it,
She didn't look 16, though. She really
she didn't.
Yeah.
To be fair, no, she didn't. But yeah, she did do a really good job.
Oh, another thing that I said, I didn't care for the pop music in the second one. So there was a few pop songs in there, like that it fit the theme of the movie.
One way or another,
well, but
I cannot stand that.
Well, not that. I'm talking about like the actual pop music for the score and shit like that.
That's Disney though.
I know, but that's the thing though is like for the original, There was nothing like that.
That's my point.
The original was completely a score, and like the ending, even the ending of the first movie, like the end score for like where they're walking through the gates of Binks and his sister.
Disney movies were different and this was made for TV, so you're getting that whole Disney Channel vibe as opposed to big box Disney.
Also, Disney has changed a lot since when they first started. Now they're more into pandering to audiences.
Right, yeah, I know. And it's all about nostalgia for people and blah, blah, blah. What are they going to like?
Not this movie. This movie was not about nostalgia.
Yeah.
They did not go that route.
Another thing that I really didn't like was whenever they got the candle, right, in the second one, they got the candle and they go out into the woods and they sit down and there's no build-up to this at all. No build-up to the sisters coming back. Mm-mm. They just like that bitch and do their little chant and bam, they're back. It's like, hold on. Now, you didn't build up to this at all. Mm-hmm. Like, they just kind of, like, come in out of nowhere, essentially.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, like, let's put it like this. I was not prepared for it. They didn't build to it at all. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but I don't think they did. I think that it was kind of just poor editing. You know what I mean? On the movie maker's part.
I think it's more just like, it's a made-for-TV movie. Press for time, press for budget.
Maybe, because like they literally sit down, do their little chant thing, and they just straight light this fucking candle, like boom, out of nowhere, just casually, and then I don't know, they come back, and there was no build-up. Yeah. Nothing at all to this, and here they are. And then they come in with this musical number, and that annoyed me even more.
Yeah, I was annoyed as well, like, and... Again, I was really trying to go into this movie with an open mind.
Well, that whole set there looked very soundstage. It was definitely on a soundstage.
I did like when, at the beginning with the girls as young, I had hope in the first part because, like you said, Winifred was doing a great job.
Yeah.
And, I was like, oh, this might actually be good. And then they went out into the woods and that bitch handed her the book, and I was like, oh,
maybe instead of, if you guys if Disney decides to do a third one, maybe don't do it. Well, let me finish. Maybe don't do one about the Sanderson sisters as older, or in the future or whatever. Yeah, do it as with these girls back in the 1600s, running amok through Salem in the 1600s.
That cool.
Yeah, well, that's why I said it.
No, I told my mom. I told my mom I watched the second one because I told her, and she was specific. Did she do the muck thing?
She did, and
said yes, she did.
I think if they did a third one and they did it like a prequel, I don't think that anybody gave a shit.
I don't think they would either. I think that it would bomb.
Because it's Bette Midler, it's Kathy and Jimmy.
Yeah, exactly. Because let's face it, they're the ones who sell the tickets for that movie.
I don't know what. There was something weird about this movie because when I first saw Catherine and Jimmy, or however, my grandma came into my mind. Like, it was weird. Like, my grandma, Judy, she passed away years ago.
Like the girl
and I just haven't thought about her, and I haven't thought about her in a while, and she popped up, and I was just like, Grandma?
Grandma?
Bark?
Your grandma doesn't bark at people, did she?
It was something about the woman's face that just reminded me of my grandma.
Like she got hit with a shovel? Favorite. Like she was related to Little Nicky?
Well, talking shit
not your mom, your grandma. I'm talking about Kathy and Jimmy, dude. She's got the thing.
No, it wasn't.
Like she should be Little Nick. That might be Little Nicky's mom, dude.
No, it's what
she based it off of she thought that Mary would be dog-like.
I love how she acted like a dog, and then her little brooms. I love how those also acted as dogs.
Either that, or she's just related to Sylvester Stallone.
I think it was when I saw her face and she didn't have her mouth cocked to the thing. That's why I saw my grandma. But no, I was actually going to write some stuff about the little vacuums, but then I realized I think she put a spell on the vacuums.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Because they're not usually red; they're blue, aren't they?
I don't know.
Yeah,
well, I think those were kind of like knockoff brand. I don't think they were supposed to be like Roomba or anything.
They weren't even just calling them Roombas. They were calling them brooms or something. I have
no idea. Yeah, brooms or brooms.
Yeah, my brooms are acting weird.
Okay, I didn't know she was calling them brooms.
I'll be honest with you, like. That callback was kind of cool. It was kind of funny because they were the robots or whatever. That was kind of funny, especially because she was like riding them around.
Oh yeah,
And they kind of acted as pets for her too.
Well, it kind of is kind of a throwback to the first one where she's riding the vacuum cleaner around,
right.
and then brought it into like this day and age because people all
just like how Sarah was riding the mop in the first one.
Yeah,
and now she's riding a Swiffer.
Yeah,
I have that exact same Swiffer at home.
Yeah, that was fun.
I think anybody who has a Swiffer has that Swiffer.
No, there's a couple different ones.
We have two different Swiffers.
We've got one that doesn't have that jug thing that you can squirt things out of it, and then we also have the one that you just attach a pad to it.
I think we have an off-brand Swiffer.
They're all Swiffers to me.
we don't really use it much. We just sweep the floor with a broom.
It's like Germex. Not every brand is called Germex, but we call it Germex.
I do love the part in Walgreens where she's like, "Look, Winnie, tis the face of a child."
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
And then she eats it. I'm like, "Oh my god, you are sadistic."
Does she say raspberries or something like raspberries?
She's like a newborn child.
And another thing, I kind of feel like they did Sarah's character wrong for this movie because
they really did, though.
Because like in the first movie she had so much more. She was such a goofy. She was childish and goofy.
Spunk.
Yeah, she didn't have that in this one. Like there's a couple scenes that really just got on my nerves because she wouldn't talk like with that childish attitude and she wasn't hopping around acting like an idiot as much. You know what I mean? And the part where like they're at the festival or whatever. And it's almost like they didn't know what to do with her character because they cut to her, and you remember the robots are on the over there picking up the popcorn. She's over there picking up the popcorn with them. Why?
And she was feeding them.
Or feeding them or whatever. I'm like, you couldn't think of like they're at a festival. You couldn't think of something better to do with her character for this scene. Like nothing at all.
How the witches know what a selfie is.
Well,
they didn't. They were like, "What are we doing?" And then they took the picture, and then they looked at it. They were like, "Oh my god, we're young."
I thought
that was dumb too.
I thought it was.
Oh yeah, and then they posed.
Yeah, they posed for the picture.
They like acted like they
they brought out the camera, and then they were like,
yeah, they were like they knew what to do with it. Like I don't know about you, but if somebody points a weird rectangular box in my face, I'm not gonna know what to do with that thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like if I'm from the fucking 1600s. Yeah, right. Yeah, they're like, there's a small woman in this box. Like, come on.
That was funny though because that was like a throwback.
It was a throwback to the first one.
Yeah,
a small woman. He has a small woman.
No,
he has a little woman.
No, it was the stereo. Remember when they go into the
library?
Oh yeah,
and they're like,
I do love that part where she comes out and she's like, I want my book. And then she says some French shit.
No, she says it in French first, and then she says it in English.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did like that part. That part was pretty fucking funny in the first one. But that's the best thing about the first one. It's got a lot of, like, they knew what to do. It was good writing, and it was, like, these comical parts that you could giggle at. Whereas the first one, it's so, like, it's cringy. You know what I mean? Like, I did like the one part where the lady's walking around, like, poison apples. She's like,
you shouldn't advertise
She's like, you should never advertise it. If they know that it's poison, they'll never eat it. You know what I mean? Like, that's funny to me. I'm like, okay, we need more of that.
That was good.
That was good stuff.
Yeah.
But like, then they're like, this is stupid shit. Like, they get on stage for whatever reason for a contest of themselves.
You ladies looking for the stage always.
Always. Like, really, come on, man.
Yeah.
And there was no point in them doing that song or anything either because
we're looking for them, and that's another thing that fucking drove.
They wanted them to show them where the mayor was.
Yeah.
They wanted to bewitch them.
And
so
I
hated.
Then they got mad because they were too slow.
I absolutely
you guys were making them dance.
I absolutely hated the fact that the whole movie, their whole presence during the whole movie was about finding the mayor. That drove me insane, dude. I'm like, who gives a shit?
And the first one, it didn't matter. Like, they went from the two movies really, like, you could have watched the second one and not even watched the first one. Because they were totally different movies.
Mm-hmm.
They were completely different. They were different vibes, different.
Like in the first one, in the first one, that's when they should have been worrying about killing off his descendants and stuff.
Yeah, like in the first one, they're like, oh, let's find kids. But they felt like, I think that in the second one, they just kind of felt like, okay, the kids thing has been done. Let's do something different. What do you think? Like, well, maybe this person from their past wronged them, and that's their enemy, and they need that for this spell, and blah blah blah.
It sounds
but then it
good,
just
but
it might sound good on paper, but I think the whole execution was just done poorly, and they concentrate too much on these girls to try to develop their characters whenever we don't care about them
that's what I'm saying. I gave two shits.
That's what I'm saying is like we didn't care about them because in the first one we already had established characters, even the kids. You know, if you would have brought back like say the daughter or like the girl, like say they brought back the girl from the first movie, the young lady, or even the older two, maybe they got married and had a couple of kids. Maybe that's who you're tracking. Yeah, maybe that's the one that you truly hate. Maybe that's the one you're the blood of your enemy.
We talked about this a little bit. Like Jeremiah doesn't like me to talk about anything we're going to talk about on the podcast because he wants to hear it on the podcast.
Right,
so
I gotcha.
I can't really talk too much with him.
I try not to talk.
Madison says hi, Jeremiah.
I try not to talk about the movie too much either because I don't want to give anything away and things like that. I try not to.
You want the energy to be here.
Exactly.
Yeah, but even if I do, like, it's so funny because, like, when we started to drive home, I started to talk, and he's like, I don't want to hear it. Shut up. Like, I'm like, okay.
All right.
But anyway, like, you know, one thing I did say, and I said this to April, was, you know, when I watched Afterlife, when Ghostbusters Afterlife came out.
I thought that was actually a pretty good
Beautiful.
Ghostbusters.
I thought it was.
They did a beautiful job. And
I thought it was a good movie.
This is what I'm
I thought
saying.
it was a good movie, too.
So, what they did right in that film is they bridged the old generation to the new generation.
Yep.
So they and
they were like, hey, here's Venkman's. It's Venkman, right? Yeah, Venkman's kids.
Right.
Here's his grandkids. Like
well,
that was good.
It was.
Oh, you're right.
It was Egon.
Egon. Yeah.
Yeah. But what they did right was they had the original director's son.
Yeah.
Reitman's son doing it. So that's a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bridge right there. So you have that bridge already.
I mean, they brought back the same writer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have all of this original talent, but then you have, you know, the original director's son at the helm to say, you know, okay,
this is how my dad would have done it.
Yeah, and they, you know, and okay, like this is great that, you know, we're going to take it this direction, but also let's not forget the older generations that grew up with this, they're not going to like it if we do this. So let's make sure that this is included.
Yeah, let's make it sure it's good for them too.
Right.
Because they're still watching.
Right. So, like, you know, when I took my kids to see that, they were watching and I was watching and we were both glued to the screen.
Right. So that's another thing too, though, is we grew up with Hocus Pocus. Mm-hmm. We have to sit with our kids now and watch Hocus Pocus too.
And they did not do a good job with that bridge.
Exactly. And that's the thing is like, you know, I can't nudge my daughter over here and say, oh, man, that's funny because I remember that from the first one. Mm-hmm. You can't do that because there's nothing about the first one.
That's why when you texted
except for whenever they're like, oh, it's the Binks cat or whatever. Yeah. Like, okay, that's an okay callback, I guess, but it's kind of just a blunt in-your-face callback.
I kind of hated that they had the cat in there.
Oh, that's one thing that I wrote down. I wanted them to, like, put the cat more into it. Have the cat, like...
Cobweb in it more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I kind of hated it because it was kind of like, why... Like, he's not Binks.
Right, either do something with him or don't even put him in there.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no point for him to be there. Other than a slight callback.
Yeah, the only thing they did was he told him about the second candle. He didn't tell anybody about the second candle, but it showed him having the second candle.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's stupid also, because he acted like the first one was such a pain in the ass to make, but he's got two?
Yeah.
He's got another one just in a box somewhere?
And that was kind of like when you said, you know, do you mind if Madison joins? And I was like, not at all, because I legit thought maybe I was being too harsh, because... I thought they did a bad job representing us.
But the thing about Madison, though, is she has a deep appreciation for a lot of the older movies that we did grow up on. She loves the old school Ninja Turtles movies and shit like that.
Yeah.
So, like, she loves that stuff. And she also loves...
Is she still a huge fan of Fido?
I don't know.
I have that movie up in my room.
Yeah, so there you go.
Good job.
I
always hated that movie.
I raised my kids right around here.
Joseph told me that you loved it.
She did. That used to be her favorite movie whenever she was a kid.
It was weird because I didn't like it at all.
She used to watch the fuck out of it.
But I loved it.
I don't know. I think that this movie doesn't do a good job of introducing new with old, and I love seeing Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker. I love them all back in that role, and yeah, having fun. But the movie was not that good. It wasn't terrible. I won't say it's terrible, and I don't think it's unwatchable.
It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And I agree with you guys. I would tell anybody that's watched the first one, you should watch the second one. Give it a fair shake. I know people that have watched it, that have watched the first one, that liked it, that thought it was good. And I'm not going to discourage anyone. I just thought I really fucking hated those teenagers.
I didn't think that the teenagers were bad characters. I didn't think that they served a lot to the overall movie, I guess.
I think they did badly with their characters. They could have, I don't know.
I think that the one girl, the mayor's daughter, I didn't like her character.
No,
and I think that the other friend was kind of like just on the sideline too much. Yeah. Whereas the main girl, she did a good job. I really enjoyed seeing her on screen and stuff, but to make her like a witch and stuff, I was just kind of like,
It's like you're throwing that in my face. And I don't want to have it in my face. I don't like
you're trying to throw a new generation of witches at us, which we know is not going to come into fruition.
No, and
if you do another movie,
I don't like it. They're white witches, and the whole point is like they're supposed to be the bad guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I can understand she's supposed to be a white witch because Batman even says, white witch." Mm-hmm. Why a white witch wouldn't use a spell book that's made out of human skin?
Yeah, that was another.
Not to mention, it seems like human skin. Not to mention, it seems like most of the book's spells are not good spells.
That's my point. Like that, I just felt like the book betraying Winifred
just wouldn't happen.
Wasn't necessary.
It was such a slap in the face to the original.
Yeah,
such a slap in the face.
Because it's like Madison said, the original movie. The book and Winifred should have been. They were pretty much married.
Yes.
You know, even her final words at the end of the first movie was "book." Uh-huh. You know what I mean? Like she was screaming for her book. Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, also, as she turned into stone, book.
Mm-hmm. Also, in the first one, the book doesn't have its own emotions.
Well, that's because it wasn't CGI.
No, and I kind of thought I did think that part on the bookshelf. When they're searching for the book and he's like sweating it, like literally sweating it, like, oh shit, they're gonna find me. That was kind of funny.
I thought it was kind of goofy.
I was
like, all right, that's pretty good right there.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
I think to give the book more play in the movie was a good choice.
Yeah, make him a character of his own.
Make him a character of his own.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good choice.
My whole thing with the book.
He almost replaces Binks in that aspect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Only without being able to talk.
Yeah, I can see that.
So
yeah,
he kind of replaced Binks, and I thought that was... Book was a good character. He didn't have a lot of quippy moments, but he was still a good that part like you said on the shelf where he's sweating.
Like literally
that was good.
It,
yeah,
that was funny.
I liked that. That was pretty funny.
Is, I wrote how is a book sweating? It don't have any sweat glands.
Well, he is made out of skin technically.
But he still didn't have sweat glands. You have to have glands that have to sweat. But also, see, I bring stuff into it that I've started to realize
you can't suspend your disbelief even for 2 seconds, can you?
Right.
Listen. I've realized
you're a child at heart, aren't you?
With doing this stuff, I've realized that I make a lot more notes than you guys and try to put a serious note on it, and I need to stop doing that apparently because I guess I just,
Good job, Matt.
Oh, one thing that I did say about the first one is, why did the candle look like it's been lit before? It was partially melted, the candle from the first movie was. The wick was black.
Maybe
somebody who wasn't a virgin lit it once?
Maybe, or maybe when they made it, they lit it to make sure that it worked,
and they weren't a virgin.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's the only thing I come up with. Maybe somebody who wasn't a virgin lit it before.
They wanted it to look, have that authentic burned look.
Yeah.
They had that whole
True,
aesthetic.
I guess. I hated the look of the black flame candle or the black flame candle in the second one.
Well, you don't want the black flame candle to look all brand new like it came from Walmart yesterday. You want it to have that aesthetic.
Well, I'm saying I hated this one in the second movie.
That's because remember he said that he sucked at making candles.
Yeah, and she was like, "It looks like it drowned."
And he was like, "Yeah, well."
I thought it looked like
the first one looked cool as fuck. Had some designs in it and shit.
Yeah. It looked like You know when a tire gets a bubble in it?
Yeah, right, yeah. Kind of looked like a
yeah.
blob of fat. You know what I mean? Like, it was weird. Like, somebody made it out of fucking, like,
Which
out
is
of, like,
kind of
guppy.
funny.
Or...
That was kind of funny, too. But I really didn't like the magic store guy or the store guy. I didn't like
he
him.
was... I love that guy. That guy is funny.
Gilbert.
See, he was in a movie called... what was that movie? I think you watched it. It was about the Christmas party. It had... Had Jason Bateman and Jennifer Aniston.
Office Party.
Yeah,
I've seen
and
that
he
movie.
he worked in the office. He was the DJ guy. He was like, wah, wah, wah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Same guy?
Yeah, same guy. He was also in, if you've never seen this movie, I highly recommend watching Werewolf Among Us. Or
I haven't got to see that movie. I can't find it.
It is such a good movie. He's in it as he's the main character in that movie, and it also has the girl who does all the AT&T commercials. I can't remember her name.
I know. I think
but
I see her face.
She's in it too, and they are like awesome together on screen. She is so funny and goofy, and so is he, and it's just such a good fucking movie.
I just felt like he fell flat for like comic relief.
He did, but not in. If you get a chance, watch. I think it's called Wolves Among Us
or
Werewolves
based
Among
on
Us.
The game. It's called
based
Wolves
off
against Wolves Among Us. I think it's called. Yeah, because I remember seeing a preview for it, and I was like, I can't. Wait
it is
to
a
see
really
that.
it's a really good movie. If you haven't seen that, it's
I'm not saying he's bad.
It's like a horror.
Everything he does.
It's like a horror comedy, but essentially
is it based on a video game.
Yeah, it's based off a VR game.
Yeah.
It's nothing like the VR game, but
I just want to say this. Winifred, like whenever she was tearing down the screen for the window, she's got some really pretty nails. They might be long, but they were really pretty.
I noticed that too.
Well, I mean, when you're a witch, you don't really have to go to somebody else to get your nails done. You can just go, and it probably does. You know, it probably just does it.
They were really pretty.
And I said this too in the first one, man. Like seeing all three of the sisters together on screen is super awesome. I love seeing them together because they have such a good presence together, all together. Does anybody have any more notes that... also, one more thing that I had a gripe about the first one is why would a married man invite 3 women into his house to meet his wife? I didn't understand that.
I didn't really.
It always, even as a kid, that bothered me. Like, why is this guy who is married inviting 3 women off the street into his house? Like, so.
Also, did anybody notice? Apparently, in 1993, kids were thieves.
Yeah. Also, in 1993, apparently kids didn't know to confirm the fucking kill. Because whenever they sent the witches into the fire, they just run out. They're like, oh my god, they're dead. Like, no, dude. Like, they're witches. You don't think that there's a possibility they could survive? Confirm that fucking kill.
And and like, even if it were
they
me,
might have went by. Yeah, you can kill wolves with fire. That's how
I would still confirm that kill.
I wouldn't go with that though, because it's the candle that keeps them alive.
Exactly.
If
Confirm the kill.
I'm
burning,
saying if they don't know that, they didn't. I'm not sure
they
knew
do
that.
know that because that's what brought them back was the candle.
I think that you should confirm that kill. Confirm that kill. Also, one more thing. I'm going over the last of my notes here.
Should have known that they weren't dead.
Yeah, you would think. Binks is stupid.
Yeah, he wouldn't talk to anybody else.
But my last note is, so you notice whenever they're getting ready, before they even do their little number in the first movie, before they get up on stage and sing, Max is up on stage. She's like, they're right there. And they like cover their faces because they don't fully realize that like being called out as a witch, like they're still in the 1600s.
Yeah, they don't know.
So they're like covering their faces, like, oh fuck, we're about to get hung. You know what I mean? They kind of did one of those numbers, like, I know it's supposed to be like a kind of a comical moment, but at the same time, it kind of made you question. Like, I think they're covering their faces because they feel like being called out as a witch gets you killed. You know what I mean? Whereas the times have changed, but they all laugh at it,
but they don't,
and it kind of shows.
Thank you, Max, for that marvelous introduction.
Yeah, well, it kind of shows like
they
how
didn't know that Halloween was a thing, and then they when they look up and they see that everybody's like dressed up.
Yeah.
Like they kind of realize.
I just thought that was kind of funny because they cover their faces, like, oh shit, they know who we are, and they're like, yeah, but it's Halloween. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly.
So, but anyway, that's the last of my notes. Does anybody else have anything they want to add?
I think it was kind of funny that. Sorry, Madison, but I think it was kind of funny in the second one that after the guy lost his head, he told his body to follow his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Follow my voice, you bag of bones.
Yeah.
Madison, if she's going to be in these, I don't want to do this anymore.
She's a guest.
I don't care.
That's not nice. You should be nice to our guests.
Says who? And I am being nice. So I haven't said things.
Hold on now. He's got a point. Like, she's the one not being nice.
Yeah, I already get made fun of enough by you guys. I don't need to be making fun of. Surprised I haven't been called Tarantino already.
What is Tarantino?
Well,
you haven't been terrible.
You haven't reviewed the movie yet. All right. So, does anybody have any notes they want to add? Nothing. We're good.
Good.
Called the school a prison for children.
That is a fact. There's a
is
fucking
funny.
prison for
They're
children.
actually they are in the 70s and 60s. They were actually designed to look like factories. Now they say that they are actually designed to look like prisons.
That makes sense.
Skip.
Are you serious?
Yep, they used to be built to look like factories because, but now they're built more to look more like prisons now.
Okay. Well.
Okay.
So, let's jump into it here. Our reviews. Matt.
Might as
Or
well
am
get
I
it
just
over
telling you both the ones, or am I telling you one?
Let's
first?
start with the first one. We'll go with the first one, and then we'll get into the second one. Let's do the first one. We'll go around the table for the first one, and then we'll do the second one. Go ahead. Tell me what your score is for the first one.
5.
You give it a 5? A 5 for the first one? Really? Okay.
Not good. It's not a great movie, but it's not a bad movie either. That's what 5 means to me. Is it's entertaining.
Well, talking to the mic.
A 5 to me is entertaining. Okay, that's why it's not bad, it's not good, but it's something that's entertaining.
Okay, that's good. So a 5 out of Matt. All right, Karen, what do you give the first one?
8.
8. Okay. Why?
Because it's amazing. It was amazing when I was a kid, and it's amazing now. It's funny. It's good.
It's just nostalgic for you. So you.
Well, it's not just nostalgic. I mean, it was good when I was a kid because it, had, creepy factor. I've always liked creepy stuff, and
Right.
then it was funny. It had Omri Katz, and I knew that Jason Marsden's voice was in it, and I liked both of those guys because I was really a big fan of Erie, Indiana.
Mm-hmm. I missed it. I hated that show only went on for a season.
I know, I was so pissed.
I used to watch it on Hulu or something. It was
on Nickelodeon. It used to be on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was on a streaming service, and I watched it not too long ago on a streaming service.
I remember a few of the episodes. I
Amazon.
remember the one that really sticks out to me the most for those episodes is the one where the housewife was putting her kids in.
That was the very first episode.
Tupperware. That's that the first episode.
Foreverware.
Yeah, and then there was another one where his buddy gets
Simon.
unlimited money out of the ATM and he becomes rich.
Yeah.
And
You remember the
Doesn't
one where
everybody else
they
in the town
where
go broke though?
I think so. Yeah.
remember where it was daylight savings time and the town didn't do it, like they never did daylight savings time, and Marshall decided that he was going to, and so he set his watch to daylight savings time, and then he ended up being in the town by himself because he went into the future or something like that. Yeah. But anyway, I found out that he was in it and Jason Marsden was doing a voice, so I was kind of excited about that and watching that. And then the witch factor, I always found that fascinating when I was young, and
it's different. Something that's not done a lot.
yeah. And I mean, overall, it just has a lot of great things.
It does have a lot going for it.
Yeah. And the humor in it, as you pointed out, is almost sideswiped, you
Right.
almost don't catch it at first. And then you go, wait, that's hilarious,
That's great.
So, I mean,
Because it comes at you so fast.
yeah, I mean, it's perfect. I really love the part where she's talking to him. She's, does thou comprehend? And,
Does thou comprehend?
And Mary's going into this tirade, and they explain what?
Explain what?
That shit's hilarious. But,
Yeah, it's their banter back and forth between each other that just kills it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And there wasn't barely any of that.
Exactly. In the second one, it was just kind of it was almost like they were all just kind of, they were almost images of their former self. Like, it was just like they were, I don't know, they just didn't have that. You know what I mean? They were very just, I don't know. It almost seems like they didn't try hard enough with the energy and to capture that magic that they had as a group of...
It's kind of like that same magic that they had for like movies like Casper and,
right.
you know, like where they knew what they were doing with what they were trying to inject into the movie.
The problem with movies now that we didn't have back then was that back then they didn't give a shit about a bottom line. They didn't care about like your personal agendas or your woke bullshit. They were just out to make a good, fun fucking movie. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, they're like, what can we throw in here that's going to pull in an audience? They're worried about offending someone. Who can they impress?
Yeah.
Just make a movie.
Yeah.
It's all about the money.
It's not. Yeah, exactly.
They weren't trying to follow a formula. They were just trying to make a good movie.
They were just trying to make a good movie. And Casper did that. Hocus Pocus did that back then, you know. And you can go back as far as the 80s. I mean, they just were making good fucking movies.
In years.
I love Casper.
It's a fucking good movie.
Yeah.
I used to watch that all the time when I was young.
Yeah, Christina Ricci, baby.
Oh, yeah.
God damn, I love that woman.
But I mean,
she's your childhood crush who is now your adulthood crush.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, 8, and it's not just a nostalgia factor. The movie fucking holds up.
Yeah. All right, Madison, what do you give it? A 1 out of 10 for Hocus Pocus from 1993. Well, we used to.
No, you can.
Oh, okay.
Oh, now we're allowed to.
Dude, I was fucking with you.
It was bullshit.
The first time, and then now all of a sudden you say we can't do it anymore.
Because you said we couldn't.
One time! I was fucking
Fine,
with you.
we're allowed to do 0.5s. If I'd have known that, I would have gave the last one a different score.
Oh my god.
I give it...
Sometimes it's hard to rate movies. You're like, fuck, I don't know, man. Like, there's this, and then there's this, but I want to be here, but I want to be there.
I'll give it an 8.8.
An 8.8?
Yes.
Hold on a fucking minute.
No, we're doing
0.5s is what you get.
I'm going to do a 6.3.
Okay, so a 9. You're giving it a 9. That's a fucking solid number, dude. I don't think I've given anything a 9.
No, 8 is the highest I've gone.
Same here. 8. Yeah.
We know.
8's the highest I've...
I think we gave...
No, solely for the purpose that was the Halloween movie that I watched.
The church is going to be close to my house. I'm going to start going. If Wednesday is going to have to be called a church day, it's going to.
Shut the fuck up.
Solely for the purpose that every Halloween since I first watched the movie, I've always watched that movie in this month.
Yeah, okay. So it's a good Halloween time movie, October movie for you. That makes sense. And it does. I mean, and honestly, that makes me feel good. You know what I mean? Because, like, it's something that we grew up on as kids. You know, it came out in 93. I was, like, 7 years old. I was 7. Whenever this movie came out. And so, for me and to know that my daughter thinks so highly of it makes me proud. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like, so, we did have good shit when we were kids. You know what I mean? Not everything was shit.
No,
Actually, everything was better back then.
I was going to say almost nothing
things were way better back then. They knew how to make a good movie, and they weren't just remaking everything.
Well, the 70s, 60s, and 70s were the greatest decades for music.
Debatable.
Yeah, debatable.
Oh, wait, no, the 80s. 70s.
No, I like to think now. Because, god damn it, it's so fucking heavy. I love it.
Not the rap and everything, but the metal music that's coming out right now is actually really good.
It's badass, dude. Yeah, I do agree. I agree with my daughter full-heartedly on that. The metal that's coming out now is amazing.
I'm just saying it's debatable because it depends on your preference.
It does, 100%. Yeah.
That's why I mean debatable.
That's the thing, is like with movies, there is a strict guideline that you could take for any one person. Like, all right, we've got the same taste in movies. But whenever it comes to music, because there's so much of it that your taste could vary.
Could like this much of the same music. And like, oh yeah, we've got the same palette, and then like I could be like, oh, but this one.
But this one is good. You're like, no, that's shit.
That's terrible. That's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you like country?
No.
Do you like country?
It depends.
See, no, wouldn't work.
When I don't listen,
I'm not saying that I hate all country, but
I like one country singer. That's Chris Stapleton. I like him. That's it.
I like, like that old 90s country, like that was...
Oh, that's what, see, that's what most people go back to.
Right, but it's only because it was like when I was a kid, and that my grandma would always listen to that stuff, so like I knew it. So like when I hear that, I'm kind of like, eh. It's fine.
I don't
because Mississippi, right? You would think that I would like country music, but I don't. I despise it.
I don't blame you. I fucking hate country music too. I can't stand
a whole
it.
bunch of wannabes.
I don't like country, and I don't like most rap. So, but anyway, we digress. Let's get back on track here.
I wanted to say that when I don't listen to like my Pandora, which is like Skillet and all that, I usually listen to folk music.
That's different. That's not country. That's
it
different.
Can be considered folk.
No. There's so many.
That's why it's folk.
I like bluegrass, man, but I don't like country. You know what I mean?
I like that song Redbone. I forget who it's by though.
Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so my rank, I'm gonna have to go with a 6 on this one. I do like Hocus 6.5. I'll give it a 6.5 since we're doing 0.5s now. 6.5. So I like this movie. I've loved it since I was a kid, but it's also one of those movies that I've seen 100 fucking times. And
so you can't. Your rating goes down just because you've watched it.
Now hold on, let me finish.
I'm just asking.
Don't fucking interrupt me.
I'm just asking.
So
that's not the movie.
It's not. The movie has actually grown on me more over the years because I've watched it 100 times or so. So the more I watch, especially this last watch, with taking notes, you appreciate a lot of the comedy and humor and things like that. Because if it wasn't for that, it would probably be at a 5. Because it's not the greatest fucking movie. It's not the best Halloween movie. And I'm not big on family movies. So that's just me. I'm not big on family movies. I'm not. But I think
that would be the one nostalgic thing for me because I'm not big on family movies.
I'm not big on family movies, but I do appreciate the honestly the great acting that comes out of Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy, because they do an amazing job. Even the kids, they're so, you know what I mean, in the first one. And, but...
Thor Birch was over the top.
The what?
Her acting in the first one.
Who is it?
Over the top, Thor Birch.
Which one is that?
Danny.
Oh, Danny, yeah, okay, yeah. So, yeah, it was very over the top. Even his acting was like, Max... His acting was a little over the top. And so, like, the part where he's kicking the fucking trash can, he's like, this is really bad. Like, dude, come on. Like, that's too much.
That's the anger issues that you were talking
about. But anyway, so I'll give it a 6.5. It's a good movie. I love it, and I'll watch it several more times probably. But it's just not. I'm just, like I said, I'm not a big family movie guy, So I'll give it what it is, and we'll leave it at that. But yeah, it's something I will watch in the future. It's not that great of a fucking movie to me. Like, it doesn't resonate with me like it does a lot of other people.
Sure.
So. But I do like it. I do enjoy watching it. I especially like watching it with my kids and things like that.
I don't do holiday movies. Like, I won't watch a movie just for a certain holiday. Like, I don't have a movie I watch around Halloween. I don't either particularly. I like certain movies, but I'm not going to go out of my way. Like, if it's Christmas time, I don't go out of my way to watch Christmas movies.
I go out of my way to watch Home Alone every year.
I don't. But I will watch them if, but Crystal likes to watch Christmas time movies and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, we can watch that.
Some people, it's not Christmas until they watch that dude fall off of Nakatomi Plaza.
I want to watch Frosty the Snowman.
Oh, for Die Hard? Yeah.
I want to watch Frosty the Snowman again.
There's still a debate going on if that's a Christmas movie.
It's a
fucking Christmas movie. It is an action Christmas. Like, all right, that movie that we were just talking about with David Harbour. That's going to be your new Christmas movie. That's going to be up there with Die Hard.
It's not Christmas for me until I watch Christmas Vacation and A Christmas Story.
That is the best Christmas movie ever.
Christmas Story.
I've never seen either of those movies.
No, I'm not talking about Christmas Story. I'm talking about Christmas Vacation.
Yeah,
but you will. Because Christmas time, I'm definitely picking that movie.
I have a leg lamp.
I love you. You have no idea. That movie's fucking hilarious.
The stuff in it, but it was one of those where I watched it a whole bunch.
And a lot of people hate it because of that, but I don't watch it but once a year.
No, if it was,
and I never did.
All right,
I watched it a whole bunch in 1 year.
That's not the movie. That's not the movie's fault. That's your fault.
Okay, so there's no score.
With the remote.
There's no score for this movie on Metacritic. So there is like a audience score, but we're not. I don't want to just do the audience score. So we're gonna go back to Rotten Tomatoes for the first one. So for the first one, what do you guys think that the critics rated out of? This is only 59 reviews.
Oh, I'm gonna go with.
For the first one?
55.
64.
Well, I'm thinking it was probably done in 1993. They weren't buying as many critics back then.
Well, these critics can also be recent too. So.
Oh well, I'm gonna say they gave it at least a 60 or 70 something. 65. Let's just say 65.
Yeah, there's a lot of newer ratings for it. All right, what was your scores?
55.
55, 64.
65.
Karen will take this one. It's got a 39%.
Are you serious?
39%.
Them sons of bitches.
Yeah.
That's
So they apparently didn't like this movie, and a lot of these reviews are new.
That's
Really?
the problem right there.
All right, well I'm not even going to read a review because we're already over time.
Yeah,
Let's go ahead and jump into audience score. What do you guys think the audience gave it?
83%.
I'm gonna say at least. Since she gave it an 83, I'll say they went 70. 70
I'm
something.
gonna go with 64 again.
Matt, you almost took it, dude. 71%. You're almost on the nose. 71% audience score, which is good. I think that with that, it's just a lot of nostalgia. A lot of kids growing up like, what? This movie's great. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, let's jump into our Hocus Pocus 2 reviews. Let's start with Matt. Matt, what do you think of Hocus Pocus 2? What would your score be?
5.
A 5? Why?
Because it's just the same thing. It's just a movie that, like, I wouldn't say it's not good, but I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just, I think it was mainly made just for the nostalgia, and I didn't care. I don't think it had the right amount of nostalgia in it. It didn't do it. It just wasn't that great.
Okay.
It was like I would say, yeah, watch it, but if you're wanting if you're going to it just for the nostalgia, it don't have it. Very few references to the first one.
Yeah. Okay. Karen, what do you think?
3.
A 3? Oh boy. Okay. Why?
Unlikable characters.
Mm-hmm.
Humor wasn't there. Bad. I mean, you can't even give the original audience a nod.
Right.
Overall, just bad. They didn't bring any of the original flavor to it, which is part of the magic.
Oh, I agree.
From the first one.
I agree.
And you know, I really just felt like they kept trying to force things down your throat with it, you know, and really felt like they were slapping you in the face with certain things.
Okay.
And I hated that.
Okay.
So 3.
3. Okay. Madison, what about you?
4.5.
A 4? Okay, why? 4.5.
She's really on them points.
She's on them 0.5.
Just like her father.
Mainly, I would have given a lower score, but the ending with Winnie or whatever, that did pull the heartstrings just a little bit.
Yeah, it did.
Why did they do that? Don't know, because it really did seem like she hated her sisters in the first movie. And what Karen said, there weren't...
She straight bitch slapped Sarah in the Walgreens.
Exactly.
Like right across the face.
To be fair, I'd probably slap Sarah a few times.
I probably would too. Like, God damn it, you're getting on my nerves.
There wasn't many references, but the ones that there were, they were obvious and annoying. Like, the couple and the devil and his wife's costumes, I did not like that.
Well, they also put that one in numerous times.
They did too, yeah. They were like shoving that one in your face. All right, so I'm gonna go with a I'm gonna go with probably. God damn, a 3.5. I gotta go with a 3.5 on this one. The humor didn't catch with me. There was a couple of giggly moments, like you know. Like, but other than that, like, it wasn't a good movie for me anyway. Like, I think that kids could find humor in this movie. But like I said, I walked into this movie thinking that, it's just going to be, it's nostalgia bait. But there wasn't any there. Like, there was nothing from the original. And I was like, okay. Because one of the promos I saw for this movie was the part where she comes out, they come out with the broom and the Swiffer, and the thing I was like, oh, it's a good callback. And then she's like, amok, and she does that, and I was like, oh, this movie's going to be straight nostalgia. I was like, that's good but bad. You know what I mean? Like, it's got me pulled in, but it's not going to do good for a wider audience. Well, then we go into the movie, and there was none of that. That's all there was. There was nothing other than a couple of callbacks on the cat and things like that. And I just felt like, and on top of that, you had the sisters who had this great chemistry in the first one. And just, you know, they were so fucking full of energy. And I understand. They're older now. They can't do it. If they can't fucking do it, don't do it at all. It's been 30 fucking years, man.
I blame the writing for that, though.
The writing? There was nothing quippy about it. It's not funny. There was a couple of moments that made me giggle a little bit. But the young girls in the movie didn't add anything to the story. I thought the whole point of the story was stupid. Them trying to hunt down the mayor, which had nothing to do with anything.
I didn't feel like there was any chemistry with the young girls either.
There was no chemistry. There was no chemistry, period, in this whole movie.
Exactly.
Like, even between the sisters, there wasn't a lot of chemistry.
And that's what I'm saying. I blame the writing.
How do you lose the chemistry from the first movie to the second movie between the same fucking characters?
You wait 29 years to make it.
I understand that, but still, they should be able to come back in with that same energy with each other.
You'd think.
I mean, I'm not saying that they should be doing backflips or anything because they're, 30 years older. But at the same time,
that's why I say I blame the writing mostly.
It's the writing, it's the directing, and the sad part is this movie could have been great. And I think with a few storyline tweaks and some better scenery to shoot around, like actually Salem and things like that, would be awesome. I remember in the first movie that shot of Sarah flying over Salem, over Massachusetts.
Beautiful.
It was gorgeous. You could see all the water and the whole city and everything. And it was just gorgeous. That part where she was singing to get the children. Mm-hmm. That was awesome. They showed none of that. Mm-mm. None of that shit. None of the cinematography was good. It looked like a goddamn made-for-TV movie. It wasn't impressive to me. So it's a 3.5. I wasn't...
Agree. And I didn't even bring that up with mine, but I agree. That was part of my reasoning. It didn't look like Salem.
It didn't look like Salem, and it wasn't Salem. So it killed it for me. But I think that the movie itself could have benefited from a lot more... some better set design and things like that. Matt, stop fucking with that mic.
I do what I want.
Yeah, we know. All right, so from here, we are going to go ahead and jump into the Rotten Tomatoes thing. Then we're going to get into some trivia. We are way over on this show.
We're doing 2 movies, though, to be fair.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And we went really long on the news.
I tried not to. I tried to whip right through that shit.
Yeah, but we got stuck on some... No, we got stuck on the... what have you watched is what we got stuck on.
All right, so out of on Rotten Tomatoes, what do you think Hocus Pocus 2 has for a critics review?
30.
30? Matt's giving it a 30.
25.
25? Holy, this is critics. Critics.
Yeah.
Not audience, critics.
Yeah, I'm saying critics usually go lower.
Okay. 40? Okay. They gave it a 63%.
Of course they did.
Which isn't rotten. Which
Are
isn't
you
rotten.
Kidding
well,
me?
of course, because you gotta understand.
The first one they gave a 30.
They catered to the woke crowd.
Oh,
for this movie, you know that.
What?
All right, so and that was out of 130 reviews, 63%.
That's all Disney's doing. Disney even came out and said that they are pushing a not so secret gay agenda.
Yeah. So, all right, for the audience score, Matt, what do you think?
I'm still going to say the audience probably still went high. So, 70.
Oh. All right.
I think the audience went low. I'm going to go with 45.
Okay.
32.
Karen's going to take this one. 54%. So, it was apparently, essentially, people didn't like it that much. It's a so-so movie. It's a 50%. So, half did, half didn't.
I figured it would be higher because they catered.
I kind of figured that would be the audience score. All right, well, I'm going to give you one rotten score from a critic, or I'll give you 2, actually. This is, it says this, there we go. This is just as unevenly plotted as the original, lacks even the elements of surprise, and is not, by any reasonable standard, good. Between gooey and ghoulish, there must be better options. This other person said, Hocus Pocus 2 has more magic than its predecessor. That does not mean its cast is as memorable. Fuck off, dude. Bitch, you're stupid. This movie is not as good as the first. You're dumb. Like,
I really hope that the people that like wrote these hear us.
I hope so too.
Because we're gonna eventually. I'm hoping
we'll find this bitch and like, just like
we should do a James
plaster my shit all over her Facebook.
Did you write?
Yeah, did you write this? All right. So those are our Rotten Tomato scores. All right, let's jump into some trivia. How much trivia you got? Like a lot?
No. I mean, it's 2 movies worth, but
right.
No, I didn't write down everything because some of it I felt like people should know. I mean, this first movie's 30 plus years old. I mean,
yeah. You'd be surprised though. A lot of people don't keep up on this stuff.
Fair enough, but since the second one came out, I mean, a lot of it's fucking everywhere. But anyway, the moths in Billy's mouth were real.
I knew that.
There was a latex pocket attached to dentures that blocked off the back of Doug Jones' throat, so that the moths would come out, and there was a very small hole at the back so that when, so he could do the cough and help push the moths out. After locking the Sanderson sisters in the school kiln, the kids celebrate as they walk into the park. The house directly behind Max and Binks while they talk was the house that was Thora Birch's home in 1999's American Beauty.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
What kind of trivia is this?
It's just trivia about the movie and the production of the movie, things
so
like that.
it's not like actual questions that we answer?
No, it's just trivia about the movie and stuff.
Maybe I should do it as a Q&A. Like, hey.
When Joseph said trivia, that's what I thought we were going to do.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I should, do quizzes. And
Maybe we should just stop calling it trivia and call it Did You Know?
Yeah, did you know?
Did you know?
The fountain in the same scene where they're talking is the same fountain
from Friends.
I knew that. I did too. Thora Birch was offered to reprise her role in Hocus Pocus 2, but declined due to scheduling conflicts.
With what? What is that bitch doing?
I don't know, but see, I read a while back that she was blacklisted because of her parents. Because her parents were like weird and had to be on set all the time. And
who is?
Yeah, but she did American Beauty though. I mean, how could she have been blacklisted?
No, blacklisted after that. After, you know what I mean? Like when she disappeared, that was when it happened. But I don't know. I didn't do a whole lot of
weird
looking
though.
into that.
Her parents were sitting on the set like, yeah, she could show her boobs.
That's why people
weird.
found it weird. And as she got older and she was doing more and more adult things, they had to be there, and people found it off-putting.
That is weird.
Well, did you know that Kim Kardashian's mother, they signed papers for that sex tape to be released, and Kim Kardashian's mother watched the videos and told which one was the best one to put out.
That's odd. People are fucking... Hollywood's weird.
They say that they didn't do that, but the guy who was in the video said, no, that's exactly because we both got paid for it. And it was out a couple months ago that they did that. The mom took a...
the fucking Kardashians are on crack, dude. They're a bunch of fucking losers.
Yeah, don't talk about them. Don't make them any more famous than they are. Fuck them.
Making them famous. I was hoping I was dirtying them.
Dirtying them?
Fuck
no,
Kanye
Kanye did that.
There's somebody out there that's gonna... Yeah, I mean, the role of Max was originally offered to Leonardo DiCaprio. He turned it down to appear in What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Smart move.
Yeah. This is Bette Midler's favorite of all of her films.
Too old for that role, wasn't he?
No, he was 12.
Was he?
No, he was... I don't know. He was 15.
He would
16.
He would have been about the right age.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Devil's Dog was actually Kathy and Jimmy's dog. The one that played the Devil's wife, we talked about that. The Devil and his wife, Gary and Penny Marshall.
Siblings.
Bette Midler actually carried a book around on the set with insults from the 1600s.
Yeah, I know she studied the language and stuff a lot. So.
And that way she could have more authentic insults. Like when she calls her a trolley mog, that's an actual 1600s insult. Sean Murray played the human version of Binks, and actor Jason Marsden voiced the character in both the human and feline forms. I didn't know that. I thought he just did the feline form. He did
both. Yeah.
So
because his voice just wasn't.
Yeah, they thought Sean Murray's voice was too contemporary. It sounded too.
It wasn't as authentic. as they wanted it to
Yeah,
be
it didn't
for the
sound
character.
1600s enough, I guess.
Right.
And then we talked about this, but Omri Katz and Jason Marsden were in Erie, Indiana as Marshall Teller, and Dash X was Jason Marsden's character. And then this is like my favorite one. So when this was shown in the UK, all instances of Billy losing his head were cut from the movie because it was too violent. They felt like that was too violent. So this caused a lot of problems though, like with
the plot,
knowing what's going on. So like especially like the part where where Billy loses his head and that gives Winnie the opportunity to grab Danny because Danny gets out of the circle to get his head.
Exactly.
Like that no longer makes any sense at all.
Right.
So what does it just go from her being in the circle to just Winnie having her
in the circle protected, and then she's out of the circle screaming and getting grabbed?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was a big uproar about it, and they put it back in
because it really isn't that bad.
Yeah, exactly.
There wasn't blood or
it's not like it was gory or anything.
Right. So
it's
that's
more
it
comical
for the
than
first one.
anything.
Yeah, that's it for the first one. And then so currently there's no plans to have a Hocus Pocus 3.
I hope not.
I know. But all three witches would be up to it if it were pitched.
Of course.
Bette Midler says she would love to have a franchise. In fact, Bette Midler is largely responsible for the sequel getting made.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
As the years went on, she saw more and more merch, and it seems more and more fans. So once a year, she would call the studio and say, "So how about it?"
Yep, yeah. I've read that. Yeah.
Yeah. Doug Jones got to wear the same wig as he did in the original. And before the sequel was greenlit, a remake was set to be made. It was going to be a made-for-TV movie that involved none of the original cast. However, when this was greenlit, the remake was scrapped.
Thank God.
Yeah, no shit.
Could you imagine that? That's just an insult, dude.
No shit.
A made-for-TV
I had
remake?
heard about that, and then I thought it was like bullshit. And then, like when we heard about this, I was like, "Oh, I knew that was bullshit." And then I read that, and I'm like, "Oh, I guess it wasn't bullshit."
Yeah, could you imagine the slap in the face?
Yeah.
Like just to have a made-for-TV
Bette Midler's
remake.
been begging for this for years.
Yeah, Bette Midler, like, really?
Yeah. Yeah, anyway. There was a sequel novel that was written by someone called A.W. Jantha. I cannot fucking read.
I wonder if it's better than this one.
It followed the daughter of Max and Allison. Her name was Poppy.
There was
Really?
a movie?
Mm-hmm.
Not a movie. It was a
book.
Oh.
Called her Poppy, huh?
Poppy.
That's a stupid fucking name.
It's a nickname for Penelope.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's probably a nickname, dude.
Sarah Jessica Parker actually has an ancestor who was accused of being a witch in Salem during the trials, although her ancestor never went to court and escaped with her life.
Probably because of Sarah Jessica Parker's large-ass nose. She looks like a witch, dude.
Oh my god.
Well, isn't that the point?
So, the spider that attacks the villagers in the opening scene is actually a golden silk orb weaver. They are very large. Their torsos are 3 inches long alone, not including the rest of their body.
And ain't they from Australia?
They are harmless, though. They are not venomous, and their bites can not actually penetrate human skin.
What are they?
Sort of like Daddy Long.
That spider.
Golden silk orb weavers.
Daddy Longlegs can
poison you. They're like
can puncture your skin, and they're not the most deadly spider. They don't have that. Their venom's not that
I play
bad
with them
either.
all the time.
I know, but I thought they could only poison you if you had like an open wound because their things are so thin.
I've read the whole thing about Daddy Longlegs is a lie. Their venom's not that strong, and they can puncture your skin.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Every time you've ever told me not to be afraid of a daddy long leg because it doesn't bite.
They don't bite.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if they
what
do
he's
bite,
saying is that they don't have venom. Like they don't.
No, they have venom, but it wouldn't hurt you.
I know that, but like if they can bite, I don't want to be bit.
It's so little you wouldn't feel it.
So,
dude, I've spent years trying to get her over this fear of fucking spiders, and here you are negating everything.
You shouldn't be scared of spiders.
She is though. Because she's a 15-year-old girl. I've got her off of the fucking Daddy Longlegs thing, and now you're telling me that they can bite.
They can.
Shh.
It's just that it's not going to hurt.
I tried to help.
They're fucking harmless, Madison.
Daddy Longlegs really are like they're the only spider that I like. They're harmless.
All right. So anyway, all right. So we've ran about a half hour longer than we wanted to, but we had 2 movies to talk about. There's a lot to unpack with those 2 movies. So next week, whose pick was it? Karen's?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. What are we watching next week, Karen?
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Well, it's the month of October. We are doing horror movies all month,
and with Halloween and Christmas, we have banned Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes.
Good job.
Yes.
I hate that movie.
Yes, we are not doing Nightmare Before
movie,
Christmas.
I cannot stand it. I fall asleep every time.
Honestly, that's more of a pick that you just pick to pick, not. And even then, I hope nobody picks it because I don't want to review that movie. But the month of October, everybody, this next one will be for Karen. Then after that will be Matt, and then after that will be my pick. And then you will be getting a bonus episode this month. We are going to do a bonus episode for everybody's top 5 picks of horror movies. And Karen already has her list done. Matt is working on his, and I haven't even fucking started mine because I'm a fucking baller.
You said horror and thriller.
Yeah, horror and thriller, yes. So, Karen, what will we be watching next week? What are we going to review?
I picked this movie because I think everybody should fucking watch it.
God damn it.
Is it foreign?
One Cut of the Dead.
The fuck is that?
It is I'll just read the synopsis.
Okay. When did it come out?
I don't know.
I need to know where to see it.
It's on Shudder, but I also own it.
I don't have
so I can let you
Shudder.
borrow it.
Everybody should have Shudder.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Shudder's
not
awesome.
everybody wants to spend money on stuff that they know they're not going to watch. I've already looked through it and seen that there's nothing I really want to watch.
Oh man, they've got a lot of originals too that are good.
If I will find out if there's a show I really want to watch and then find out what service is on.
Crystal, Karen, did you watch Blood Vessel on Shudder?
No.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So, okay. It's an hour and 36 minutes. It is
Foreign.
Japanese. So the synopsis is this. Things go badly for a hack director and film crew shooting a low-budget zombie movie in an abandoned Japanese World War II facility when they are attacked by real zombies. Or, that's what it says on the tin. But this is the story of how it really happened.
So what really happened?
You have to watch the movie.
All right.
Essentially, the guy is tasked with making a zombie movie in one cut. Like, no edits, no... Like, it's going to happen live on television, and they want the zombie movie to happen all at once. No cuts, nothing. And,
what's it called?
One Cut of the Dead.
One Cut of the Dead.
You know, it actually doesn't sound bad. From the synopsis, it sounds like it could be pretty good. Because I like for some odd reason, I like zombie movies that take...
I'm always down for watching a new movie, man. So I'll check it out.
Like I
sure.
said, it's I don't technically like a lot of foreign movies.
I don't either.
This was one of those movies that I kept seeing it on a lot of lists for if you like horror movies and stuff.
Is it a B movie?
No.
It's not? No. Okay.
It kept coming up and kept coming up and kept intriguing me, so I watched it, and I literally watched it twice in the same day because I literally made Jeremiah sit down and watch it again.
Okay.
So I think everybody should watch it, so that's why you two are.
I love that. So it's got to be good because it's your October pick. So
yeah, I was torn between this one and Slither.
oh fuck yeah, dude! I love Slither.
I do too.
I love Slither.
I've seen part of it. There was something that came up more important.
But I figured you guys.
I wish you guys could have just seen the look on his face.
There was something that came up more important at that point in my life.
I figured you guys have probably already seen
That was good,
Slither,
Matt. I
so
like that.
this is why I picked this one.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's a good. I mean, if you think it's a good pick, then it's got to be good, especially for October, man. It's our horror movie month. All right, so join us next week, the Bonsai Movie Crew, when we review One Cut of the Dead. Was that a good voice? Did I do good?
Yeah, you did good.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm getting into it. Sorry. All right, so until next time, have a good week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.